So graham crackers, you gotta watch that.
Dude, you gotta. You're a man of substance. You like the finer things.
Some graham crackers with some peanut butter, dipped in milk.
Oh,
that's the move. You ever done that?
Oh yeah.
How do I know you're a dad?
Is that a dad? That was my dad. My dad did that when I was a kid, so I assume I probably picked that up from him. But yeah, sometimes that's just breakfast in the morning. Sometimes it's dinner. Yeah. Graham crackers, peanut butter, and milk. Plenty of calories there, huh, Brady?
That is good calories. Do you track your macros in the calculator after our food one?
I'm not tracking any macros.
I got macros.
I think that's just like a complete whatever. I'm just starving and I need to eat.
That's a cheat meal.
You just don't believe in it? Did you watch the game last night?
No, man. I was watching my kid play last night.
Dude, the game last night was awesome.
It was pretty good.
My kid
back and forth.
Yeah, my oldest kid had games in St. George, so I caught his last game last night, which was pretty rough.
So you watched it, Lorenzo, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do you think that there wasn't as much hype after they won the finals? Like literally, like it didn't seem like a normal like NBA championship. Everyone's super jacked to win the finals. Everyone's just like, yeah, we won.
Yeah.
Like, even like the locker room stuff, like, yeah, they were spraying the champagne and stuff like that, but like maybe the coverage was really weird this year, but it did not seem like a team won and everyone's so jacked on it.
Yeah, I also think the Joker and Murray, they're just such calm
people.
Like, I think that has a lot to do with it too. They're both so calm just in their day-to-day lives. Like, did you see the Joker this morning?
I haven't seen anything.
Are you excited for the parade? This morning, the reporter is asking him, are you excited for the parade? And he goes, when is it?
When is it?
Thursday morning. He goes, no, I got to go home. So he's just going home. Where's he from? Some
Serbia?
Serbia.
Is it Serbia?
Yeah, it is Serbia.
Yeah, so he's going home.
Yeah, just doesn't care.
Wants to go see his family.
Shout out to Chris Neville though. He should have went to the game because he lives close by now.
Yeah, why didn't he go?
I don't know. What an idiot.
I bet you tickets were.
I looked at the ticket prices.
How much?
There were some for like right behind the basket that were like $9,000.
I know the hockey.
Even the upper deckers were like 1,500.
Yeah,
like
the hockey tickets. The hockey tickets tonight, standing room only, is $800.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, tonight's the big night, right? This will be.
Could be.
The Vegas Knights will have won a Stanley Cup by the time this comes out.
Let's knock on wood. Could be a big night.
Man,
pretty cool to have a home game finish. They're up 3-1.
I mean, Cinderella story.
I remember the last time they were doing this, and Cody Bohr said, "Oh yeah, they're going to win it all." And then the next game they lost. So
we won the first game against Capitals, and then we lost 4 straight in a row, and then they won the cup in Vegas. I was at the game, so I have seen the cup. It was just to the wrong team.
To the wrong team.
Yeah,
and that was the first.
I watched
year.
Ovechkin get to raise the cup, though. I stayed and watched that. It was pretty cool.
That was the very first year. There was a franchise, right?
Very first year.
What was the series that year? You remember?
4-1. So we won
4-1 opposite.
Yeah, we won the first game at home,
and then they won 4 straight.
We won the first game there, and then we won the first game at home, and then it went 4 in a row to the Capitals after that.
So I feel pretty good. I mean, we're up 3-1
Yeah, we
now.
won the first game at home. We were the home team. So we won the first game at home, and then we lost 4 straight. They swept us after that.
Mm-hmm. Not this year, though.
Ovechkin that guy's incredible. The penalty, the power play for them, it is literally automatic. Ovechkin's going to score. It's fucking automatic every time.
I guarantee.
It was unbelievable. It was unreal to watch that guy play.
Yeah, I was sitting up in Montana at a bar watching that last game. I was just like blown away, like you're saying. Like they are so good.
It was automatic.
Yeah.
Every time they'd go on a power play, it's like, all right, here we go. Ovechkin from the side.
Yeah. I was even texting my brother. My brothers are, live in Minnesota, big hockey fans. It's like, dude, you watching the game? He's like, yeah, man, this game is epic. And I'm like, dude, he's like, Vegas are so good.
Yeah, Vegas is.
Like, they're just so solid as a team.
This will be the second time they've played for a cup in 5 years.
6 years.
6 years. Mm-hmm. So it's the 6 years
from
an expansion team.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
It's the most incredible. I mean, statistically, it's really incredible.
I just wish we could grow some ice in this town. That'd be pretty sick. Then we can go play in some ponds.
I guarantee they've got adult leagues here.
We have 2, but we only have 2 rinks. 2.
Oh, really?
Public.
Total?
It's got to be so expensive to have ice in this
There's
town.
got to be more.
We have 4 now? No, do we have 4? We only had 2. Those are new then. Yeah, so we have 4 now. That's how much it's grown.
There's got to be expansion in Vegas as far as people just like interest in hockey, people playing hockey.
Well, I can tell you, my kid is on the Little Knights can't got
Yeah.
he's in that little deal,
Yeah, like junior nights.
and it's incredible how serious it's gotten.
There has to be. I mean,
It's incredible.
You see all the the Instagram videos, like guys, out on the strip in their inlines.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it just shows you how to grow the game, right? So like all these, they're all looking to grow the game, golf and basketball, and then you go worldwide and you do this and you do that. It just shows, we've seen it firsthand now. Like you bring hockey to the desert, it grows the
desert.
game.
Yeah.
It absolutely grows the game. Everyone was wondering what the hell was going on when they brought a hockey team to Vegas. It does grow the game. There's no question.
Yeah.
You watch these kids now, it's unbelievable.
yeah. We haven't ever watched like my house. We've never watched hockey, but
Well, yeah, we even got Southern Utah into it.
Knights have a team now.
Yeah.
We're all into it. You drive around Cedar City. There's tons of Vegas Knights plates and stickers and people wearing hoodies and jackets and T-shirts.
It grew the game. And Vegas was the best place. We've been dying for a professional team for so long. It's like, it is so overdue.
So I got to ask, I feel like hockey, and I don't know because I don't know that much about hockey, but I feel like the like from team to team, it's not like, obviously there's players that are more talented. Like basketball, you've got your superstars, right? And I assume in hockey you have superstars as well.
Yeah.
But it seems like there's more. There's a chance that some random team like Florida, right?
Yeah.
They were an 8 seed. They come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I know Vegas was good this year, but like, is that the case? Like, is there more evenness between hockey players in professional hockey?
It is incredible how the worst team can become the best team so quickly, and then the best team can become a worse team so quickly.
It's not like you just get the best player.
No.
And then you're automatically in.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. See, I like that about hockey. That's really
It is fun. Makes it really fun.
makes it more fun because your team could make a run.
Yeah, I mean, and they get hot going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, they play every other day for the most part, like on average, every other day.
Really?
Yes. So they get super streaky. So like Florida was super streaky going into the playoffs, and then they just took over.
How many games they play a season? Do you know? Just off the top.
82, yeah.
God, I can't
It's a
imagine
lot.
as physical as it is.
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty physical.
Almost basically every like 3 days, I guess, on average, but mostly like a lot of the time it's every other day.
God, it seems like so physical.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, they come in shifts, right? You've got lines. Is that what they call it? I don't know.
Lines.
Four
yeah.
lines.
They got
And they
four
sub
line.
them out.
I know they have ice.
My kids are always impressed with how quickly they jump lines. Like some random guy just.
You know what I take from that though? A ton of inspiration on communication. I look at that,
Yeah.
and then I look at business, and I'm like, man, the amount of communication and like how in sync they have to be with each other. That is, to run it at that high of a level and under that much stress, right? Playing for the Stanley Cup, they're just so in tune with each other. Like it's interesting to watch, inspiring to watch, to try and bring it to work. Like, how the hell can we not communicate like that? And we're like,
Yeah.
we're right down the hall from each other, and it's really
Yeah.
not on the fly like
Got
that.
to practice it every single day, I guess.
It's crazy.
Does the Stanley Cup get bigger? Like one of my kids asked me that. He's like, I think they get it bigger because they put their name on the cup.
Does it get bigger? Yeah, we got Peyton's our internal hockey.
Oh,
guy.
he's a hockey guy.
They add the ring on the bottom
Yeah, the
to
ring on
keep
the
adding
So
bottom.
they
more
add a ring,
teams.
it gets bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, my littlest kid was saying that the other day, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it gets bigger as they put names on it.
It's pretty cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I had to look that up the other day.
Oh, really?
What
Yeah,
the
'cause
cool
I
thing,
saw someone like doing something with the Stanley Cup, and I was like, wait, all those names are on there. How does that work? What happens when they fill it up? And I was like,
Just
I never knew.
Make it bigger.
the cool thing is it only travels when it can be won. So when when a team has 3 wins, that's the only time it starts to travel. So like it'll be in Vegas tonight. It hasn't been in Vegas or Florida this entire time because it only travels when
When it
it's
can
up
be
for
won.
grabs.
When it's
Yeah.
a
That's
game
it.
deciding in a series.
And then each player gets it for 1 day.
Oh, really? They
Yeah.
rotate it
Yeah.
between, and
That's
they get
good.
to do whatever they want with
Yeah,
it.
I've
taken the
fantasized
pool.
about what I would do with it.
I'd put on a floaty next to me in the pool and
I've
just hang out.
fantasized quite a few times on what I would do with it, and I don't want to say it on the podcast because then people will judge me too hard.
That's pretty
I
hilarious.
promise I'm a good person.
That's pretty cool. And then will it stay in Vegas? Do you know? Like
I don't-
after it's over?
Peyton, it stays with each one of the players for a day, and then what happens?
Then it goes to the administration.
Then it goes to the administration.
Once the new season starts, it goes back to the league.
Okay, and then once that goes to the administration after that. They get it until the first game of the next season, and then it goes back to the league. Perfect.
That's
It's
what
awesome.
we need an office trophy that travels.
I know, right?
The
Travel with-
biggest bucker bull of the year.
Yeah.
You get bragging rights.
Yeah.
We could do some cool carvings on it. Get
How
your-
cool
get
for the
your name on
Capitals
it.
to win it in Vegas, though, too. You think that was a good night? Holy shit. Look at these pictures.
Yeah, but wait till the home team wins it in Vegas.
Vegas is going to be on another level.
Yeah, Vegas is going to get wild.
Could be the city of champions.
That's the funny thing
You know
about
that?
Vegas. It doesn't matter if it is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It doesn't matter if it's Saturday. Does not matter. This town is ready to go.
Because we had Las Vegas Aces win last year, WNBA.
Yeah,
win
this will be the
second
second title.
championship we've already had.
Do you think they'll do big parade down the strip?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have to come down for that.
But like I'm saying, man, let's knock on
Not
wood.
jinx it.
Florida's not a bad team.
I feel pretty good about it, though. Should we talk about?
I'll be at the game.
You'll be at the
So,
game.
I'll be there.
I'm going to look for you. I always look for you.
I was at game 2. I missed game 1. I was being a good dad. Took my son to a birthday. I was
I think
not
you need,
in the best mood, so maybe I wasn't a good dad. But
I think you need like a costume so we can pick you out. You get some camera time.
Go Hunt Orange. That's what I'm wearing tonight. Go Hunt Orange Vest.
The
You
orange
guys will
vest?
see
It's
me
the pumpkin
from a
patch
mile away.
vest?
Yeah, pumpkin. I mean,
Which is
what
brand
do we
new for
what do we
us.
name it?
It-
The
pump-
Don't Shoot Me Vest.
No, we got
No.
the pumpkin patch vest.
the pumpkin
We
patch
can
vest.
do
that's
that
what we
because
named
of like Facebook and
Yeah.
YouTube and all
it.
those
Shameless
places.
plug. Live in the store now.
Yeah,
It's a badass orange vest. Maybe
Brady,
I will that.
you
I
got
will
to wear it,
that
huh?
tonight.
Yeah, the new Hunt film. We also haven't really talked about yet, but yeah, we're dropping all the secrets. Yeah, the new Hunt film of me from a state last year is dropping later this month.
It
And
wasn't
I'm wearing-
Europe?
Wasn't? Oh, it might have been. It might
Was
have
it
been.
Europe?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was hunting mule deer over there. Yeah, and I'm wearing that pumpkin patch vest, and it was actually a legit vest. Like Kevin did a really good
Yeah,
job
this
on
thing's
it.
been awesome. We've been developing it for a while.
Yeah, Kevin's been working on it.
It's a minimalist vest, but awesome at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's some of them have gotten so over-engineered, and no one likes wearing orange vests.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have to balance the perfect amount of usefulness, and at the same time, you know everybody has disdain for wearing it. So
Yeah.
kind of walk that fine line.
It's got to be just enough, but not annoying.
Exactly.
And in the way.
Some of them, I mean, they've gotten so out of control and annoying.
Yeah, some of them are heavy. Some of them aren't enough.
Pockets everywhere
Pockets
and like make
everywhere.
it super technical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yep. So that's live on the site. You can check that out. What else we got
That
going
was a
on?
great shameless plug.
It was good.
That's awesome how that just
You
worked
got
in there.
you got Father's Day. I don't know if this will be out before Father's Day. It might not be, but if you want to get some gear for your dad, if you miss,
And we got a
Father's Day.
BOGO going on right
And
now
a
for
BOGO.
Father's Day.
Hey, buy
Yeah.
buy one, we'll give you one for free to gift. So buy one insider membership.
Yep.
You get a little code in your email, and you could gift it to anyone you want.
I would suggest your dad, considering
Suggest
it's
your dad,
Father's
yes.
Day.
Yes.
Anytime I'm down here, Brady's always talking to his dad on the phone.
I talk to my dad a lot.
Great.
I actually just texted him earlier on the podcast.
That's
We're talking about right. He's setting up I got my brother, or he got my brother a Browning rifle. I just helped him on the hookup side of it for Christmas.
Hey, there we
So
go.
we've been talking about setup and getting it all dialed, and I'm going to go back home and help him set
That's
it up.
awesome.
Oh,
For
on
the
On
kid.
4th of July. So.
Always makes me feel guilty because Brady's on the phone with his dad all the time, and I'm like, man, I don't talk to my dad nearly as enough as I should.
I live in the same
I
town.
feel guilty.
I live 7 minutes away from my dad. His office is 3 minutes away from mine, and Brady talks to his dad more.
You got Father's Day figured out already?
No, I actually don't do a lot for Father's Day or Mother's Day because I don't want one of them to think I'm like doing something over the top for one for the other, make my mom jealous, make my dad jealous.
Did you say your mom
funny
gets
how that
mad?
works.
Yeah, sometimes my mom sees like I talk to my dad all the time, or like when I'm dropping something on Facebook, and then she drops like this really long comment, like, we remember back in the day when I take you all to basketball practice, your dad was your dad was busy, working on his business and making it successful, and I'm doing all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, mom, I do remember. Like
I think
that
you
was
should poke the bear and like really go over
that
the
was
top
freaking
for
Yeah,
Father's
I
Day.
that was freaking baller, mom.
See, and parents, it's a funny thing. And now I'm in it with my wife. It's real. When my son, like he's a boy, so it's kind of
Yeah.
a father-son thing. And my wife's like, man, all I do is tote on him all day, and then he wants to be with you. I'm like, hey, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. So lately I've been noticing, like if I call home, like this last weekend they're up at the cabin working on the whitetail property. So I talked to my dad for a while about something, and I was like, all right, instantly hand the phone over to mom. Like
Smart.
I know like mom's in there in the room and knows I'm just calling dad talking about whitetail stuff or hunting things, and I'm like, yeah, pass the phone over really quick so I can like
Smart.
smooth over both of them.
I need to take some notes from you. That's very smart.
Yeah, we got that. We also got 4th of July coming up. We'll probably do little gear, probably some collections, probably sell. So look for that in the Go Hunt Gear Shop.
Yep.
And then kind of the subject at hand,
E-scouting.
e-scouting,
Oh,
scouting in
buddy.
general. Like we're getting Yeah, I was thinking today on the drive down, I'm like, man, we're into June, and usually like that 4th of July weekend.
That's the set off.
I'm
That's
starting
the bomb.
Yeah, I'm really starting to think like, man, bucks and bulls should be to a point where you can really start to tell
You know
what they are.
exactly,
Yeah, and
Heath Jr. sent me a picture of a buck yesterday because he drew.
Was he out?
He finally drew his tag. He's been chasing 19 points he had.
Yep.
Drew his hometown tag. Obviously, it's a good one. And he sent me a picture of a buck yesterday. I'm like, holy shit.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know why that is?
Water?
Rain makes antlers.
Rain.
Good growth
Rain
though,
makes
huh?
corn makes whiskey. Whiskey makes the girls get a little frisky.
Yeah, Brady, write that down.
Shout out to Luke Bryan.
Shout out to Luke Bryan. Those are some.
Did you know that off the top of your head that was a Luke Bryan song?
Yeah, bro.
Are you a big
to
Luke Bryan fan?
No, I listen to country unless I go to the gym, and then it's rock. And
You think Luke Bryan hunts?
Yeah, oh,
I think- yeah, he
does.
does.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
for sure hunts.
No kidding.
He's got some epic celebrations after killing some deer.
I don't know anything
Epic
about that guy other
celebrations.
than he just constantly gets ripped on about his tight jeans, right?
He's just tight.
He's
yeah.
cool. He's really cool.
I have to get him
I'm-
on.
I'm a fan.
Standing invitation to Luke Bryant or Brian. I don't even know.
Brian.
Honestly, I don't know.
I think it's Brian.
Here's this buck.
Come on the Big Hunt Guys podcast.
Yeah.
We'll talk hunting. Oh yeah, that buck's definitely got some potential.
Right? He sent me this, and I'm like,
Trill-
whoa.
if you guys don't realize, Trilla spit all over the table
Yeah, I did. I
when
got
he
so
looked at the
excited, I
buck.
just spit.
Holy
Wait, how about that buck before
Holy
July
gosh.
4th?
Already?
Rain makes horns, man.
Yeah.
Like, he sent me that last night, and I'm like, whoa.
Are we talking
okay.
sheep or are we talking deer? Because rain makes antlers.
Antlers, horns.
You can see
both.
You start to see bases on that buck.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That
I mean,
got some bases.
he's got a lot else
Look at
going on
that.
already, but you're starting to really see
That
mass
H3
potential.
mass measurement, too. That's
Yeah.
gonna be.
That's crazy. He's been out and about already.
Oh, yeah.
Good for him.
He's got 4 cameras hung right now.
East Scouting. How excited are you for East Scouting season trail and just getting down the field in general?
Well, it's like I said, I was driving down today, and I've been looking at maps, since I have a couple tags in my pocket, and I would say that's kind of and I think as we approach this, we tackle it from that standpoint, but kind of like you get your tag, what's the first step, second step, third step, and then you actually get out on the ground and go hunting, and kind of tackle it that way. But I've been looking at maps, and then like I said today, my very favorite part of it is getting boots out on the ground, and like that July time frame, July, early August. It's finally when you can like really get excited about an animal.
yeah.
You see that buck or bull for the first time, and you're like, "Yep, that's the one. I'm going to move in with him and just work him the entire hunt until I kill him." So I'm getting excited, super excited.
Do you think like early June's a waste then for people like, or do you think it can be better because you're going to see those bulls, see those bucks a little bit more grown up? You can know what the inventory you're running into, or even like snowpack too. We have to deal with a lot like going up too early. You're going to not be able to get to the high country where you want to kind of
Never
scout.
waste, but just
Never waste, yeah.
never waste. But you're not gonna see what you're hoping to see. You're gonna find deer. You're gonna find bucks, hopefully, or bulls.
Yeah.
You're gonna get to know the roads and trails. You're gonna get to know kind of the lay of the land and habitat conditions. You're gonna find the water and that kind of thing, which is super important. It's just that much more important in July and August, because then, especially, I mean, if you're just hunting, sure, it's great. But like if you're trying to target a buck or a bull, and you're really trying to find some trophy potential, I would say July's.
So you'd rather go in July.
Yeah, I don't have
Personally.
I don't have endless time and weekends. I wish I did, but if I'm going to put time into scouting, it's going to be July and August. Yeah, and mostly July. Like I said, that 4th of July weekend, I mean, every year my family goes over to my in-laws, like the little town, and they do the whole parade and everything. And I can't remember the last time I made it just because I'm out looking for deer on July 4th. Because
priorities.
everybody else is at a parade, so I'm going to go on the mountain and look for deer.
Yeah.
Have it to yourself. That's smart.
Yeah, have it to myself. But yeah, I'm stoked, man. I'm super excited. And like I said, the first step I feel like is always e-scouting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June for me is e-scouting.
Yeah.
Because like you said, July is when right now it's a lot of, like, Heath Jr. found that buck, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, you're holding on to hope that he's going to finish the way he started, right? You still don't know. Come July 4th, you're going to know frame, cheaters, inlines. You're going to know all that stuff to know exactly what's going on.
The other thing about June is like you might find an animal and look at it and think, yeah, that buck's got a ton of potential, and maybe just doesn't finish off. Or conversely, which I've had happen several times, I've seen a buck in June and
Not thought much of it.
thought not a lot of it,
Yeah.
and then checked the camera and
When I had my limited
August.
entry tag in Utah, that's exactly what happened. I thought I had a buck, and then one of the bucks that came out of nowhere finished.
Yeah,
and I'm
blew
like,
up.
okay, that's the one.
Yeah.
I always think that's interesting how an animal can kind of the rate of growth. And I know like where I'm from in southern Utah this year, I would expect them to finish pretty good. I mean, the feed was good this spring from the winter. And then we've had some rain, like afternoon thunderstorms, and if we get some continued rains through July, I would anticipate they finish really good as well. But I'm with you. That's always interesting to me. I have a buck I killed. He's like a 182-inch buck I shot with a muzzleloader, and I have trail camera pictures of that buck the end of June. So kind of that time frame, like we're creeping into July. I remember looking at it and thinking, yeah, he's probably going to be like 150, 160, just a nice 4-point, And then when it ended up killing that buck, same buck, like that buck blew up. I mean, he put on way more inches than I would have thought. So you never know.
You never know. And it's fun when that happens. I mean, they're very similar to people, right? Showers or growers. Some of them show early and some of them grow late. Come on, Brady, let's get into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
But no, it happened to me, and it was awesome. It was like a last second switch. I mean, he just kept going right those 3-4 days right before season, and then I'm like, okay, this is the buck for sure.
Isn't it fun?
I thought I was after a different one the whole time. There's
no better feeling than putting glass to an animal that just gets you so excited. I don't know if there's a better. It's one of the best feelings ever. It's like when you put the time and effort in, you've done all the e-scouting, and then you actually get out, you get boots on the ground, and you put glass on an animal, and you've got a tag in your pocket. Like for me, that's so exciting.
When you find the one,
you're willing, and you're just like, that's the one. I'm just gonna hunt that buck or that bull. Like that's such a good feeling. That's got me excited.
Yeah, I'm willing to lose my job over this animal right here. Like that's that kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home and tell my family.
Like, hey, listen.
Here's the thing: I'm probably not ever gonna see a buck like this again in my life. Like I'm just going to have to pour all my time and effort into this one animal and make it happen. Because if I don't, I'll regret it forever.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah,
I want that to happen this year badly.
Yeah. Do you want to hit us with a promo before we dive into like the first part of this?
Oh, let's do this. Let's do some promos.
I know you like a promo.
I do like some promos.
Everyone likes a promo.
And I like them right now too, because I love talking about everything that we offer. Like it's an entire suite of research tools to help you get a tag in your pocket when you use Insider. Like, we talk about, if you listen to the podcast last like 4 or 5 months, it was all about research, applications, draw odds, draw deadlines. And now we're moving into, like we're talking about today, the e-scouting portion.
Or even post-draw, don't have a tag. You can still get tags.
We still, we're dropping all this stuff about these, secondary opportunities, leftover tags. And like the best strategy is literally using filtering 2.0 to find some of these leftover tags. Like when Colorado comes with their second draw, you're dang right. I'm going to be looking at filtering 2.0, trying to figure out exactly what those units are that I'm available to pick up. Why go into, a stage and leftover things without knowing exactly about that unit, especially like, a state where you might have to lose your points, like when Nevada's first come, first serve comes up. Exactly. So like being able to research it ahead of time so you know when those tags pop up, and that's why Insider is so great, and that's why I want you guys, give you a little kickback, use promo code podcast. You're going to get 50 points back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop. That's $50. $50.
Yeah, I got to buy some
50
arrows
big bucks
today.
Back to the GOHUNT Gear Shop. Yeah. So use that, you get the entire research suite of tools. Like we're talking about, you can still use Insider right now, and it's very valuable right now for a lot of things. And GOHUNT Maps, you got Point Tracker. Like the other day, I was just running through, updating all my points on some states I didn't draw. Yeah, species I didn't draw, or going through. I drew a lot of tags this year. It was pretty silly. So I was going through, and it kind of hurts when you got a lot of points in Point Tracker, and then you have to revert it back down to zero.
Ugh.
Yeah,
it goes from double digits to zero.
Yeah.
But it's like that's the thing you got to do this time
though.
of year. Yeah. So guys, use promo code podcast when you sign up. We'll give you a little kickback and get the best research tools out there, and get GOHUNT Maps, which we're going to talk about today pretty heavily.
Yeah, I don't have an elk tag this year. So
you don't?
No.
Oh, that's right.
No, I've been looking at it. I've been debating internally, like, how do I feel about not having an elk tag? Like, can I actually go a whole season and not have an elk tag and feel like okay about it?
Have you ever done that?
I don't know.
You're a big deer guy now. You and Brady have switched spots.
I do like hunting deer, and I do want. I mean, I've got two deer tags this year that I feel like the potential is really good for. So I kind of want to pour all my time and effort just into those 2 tags and make the absolute most of them that I can. But then just the thought of not being out chasing elk with a bow and like hearing them bugle and like that whole cat and mouse game and calling, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I can do it.
You've publicly said on a lot of different occasions, elk is your favorite.
Elk is my favorite. I like hunting elk.
Yeah.
I would rather kill a big bull than a big buck.
And you don't have one this year.
I don't have one this year. So I've been looking at filtering a lot lately.
Yeah, that's what
I've
I'm
been,
getting at.
yeah.
You need to scour those leftover lists.
Yeah, I've been combing through. Yeah, I've been waiting for, Colorado secondary draw, kind of looking at the options out there.
Looking at some OTC stuff, maybe.
Yeah, mostly OTC is what I've been
Yeah.
doing. I've just been filtering through the OTCs, and that list has gotten smaller as some of those units
Yeah.
have gotten to draws. And
Yeah.
I was looking through some of the draw data for this last draw, so this current draw via their state website, and just kind of looking to see if anything would be available potentially. And like a lot of those areas even went second choice, so there may not be as much out there. So OTC is still good. I mean,
Are you going to try to pick up an Idaho tag? Because I got their third
Yeah.
tag sale day coming up, June 22nd?
yeah, I've been waiting. I'm eyeballing it.
See if anything pops up
Yeah,
elk-wise?
I'm keeping my options. I'm looking at them, but mostly I've been looking. I'd say filtering 2.0. I've been really looking at Colorado elk and just
So-
kind of combing through units and looking at areas and talking to people. So
If I know trail like I think I do,
I'll probably end up that route.
you'll
He's gonna
have a
finagle.
tag. If
Yeah, there's
I
no
know
way.
trail,
yeah, how can
You'll
you
have
miss
a
an
tag.
elk rut?
I know.
What about going to like a crazy new state? Like, what about going to Oregon?
Nah,
Yeah?
I got no interest in
No
rosies.
interest at all?
When
dude?
you in the age old saying, I can't remember who was the first one to say it, so I can give him credit. But like you only have so many Septembers in
That's
your
what
life.
I always say. I say
Like-
that all the time. I was just about to say it actually.
You only
is
have so many.
Yeah, how can you not be out with a bow in your hand and hear an elk bugle and just
Yeah.
Brady?
I don't know.
You need to come to the good side,
You
man.
only have so many Novembers in your life.
November's overrated. It's cold.
Yeah, it's great. Just lovely.
But yeah, I'm sure I'll have an elk tag. But I've been cruising. I've been using GOHUNT maps a ton, just an absolute metric shit ton.
Yeah.
Just cruising through it, looking at units, picking out areas that I think look elky. We did a series. I did a video. You've done a mule deer one. I did an elk one that was
Yep.
kind of on feed water cover. So I spent a ton of time looking at maps. And yeah, I've been absolutely just pouring through maps and filtering and looking at harvest statistics. And like you said earlier, I mean, all that's included in your GOHUNT Insider membership. And I've been using the product that I work for, which that's why we built it, right?
That's why we built it.
We built it for
We use it
ourselves.
daily.
Built it for morons like me.
Thank God there's a lot of people out there that want the same information as us, so we can make a business out of it. But
Yeah.
man, it's all we use.
So yeah, I would say chances are probably still pretty good. I'll have an elk
Oh
tag
yeah,
at some
yeah,
point.
I know you.
Would you give up on your deer tags for an elk tag?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. No,
Not
I know the tags you have. We're not going to talk
Not
about them.
this year.
But yeah.
Yeah. One's just close to home. I've always said your best chance to kill a big buck, regardless, is a unit that's close to home. So
Yeah.
like the more time, and like that's going to be the primary topic of the podcast is scouting.
But there's guys like leading into that. People are not from that same area. This is why e-scouting is going to be so valuable, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you can still
Oh,
can
yeah.
find a buck through e-scouting. You can kill a deer based on e-scouting efforts, but like you said, it's going to be way better.
You can
if
definitely
live
kill
there.
a deer. I just think to target a big deer currently with like conditions across the West, I think your chances of killing a truly big deer are pretty tough if you're not
Yeah.
out there all summer long looking at
You
it.
need to be.
Yeah.
And it's not impossible. I mean, you go to a state like Colorado, you've killed some big deer that you maybe haven't put boots on the
Never
ground.
put boots on the ground.
So it's definitely possible. But like for elk hunting, I think you can absolutely go into a unit just because of the dynamic of that animal.
Yeah.
They move so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it's nearly as as a constraint as it is like a big mule deer. So and
That's a good point to bring up, though, that e-scouting is probably golden for elk, but it might be a little more difficult to target a bigger
I feel
buck.
great. I feel great about e-scouting. Like for elk, yeah.
Yeah.
I can do e-scouting on a unit in Colorado, have no plans whatsoever to set foot in that unit and still show up, even on an OTC unit, and know that I can find elk and hunt elk.
100%.
Whereas a mule deer, I like boots on the ground if I can.
Yeah, I mean, but look, I'm born and raised in Nevada my whole life. Very few and far between hunting opportunities for me as a local here. I've had 2 deer tags my entire life in my home state. It is what it is. So I'm always having to travel, right? Family, business, I don't have a lot of time through the summer. E-scouting has been everything to me as far as like heading into the backcountry, right?
Yeah.
Like it's been everything just to make sure I'm in the right spot, try to narrow it down to 3-4 places, at least when I'm not starting at the entire unit, and it's done well. I mean,
Yeah. And that's a
Done
good
well for
point. I'm thinking about it. I tell people this all the time. I have tons of people, and I guarantee you guys do too. You have people reach out, they're looking at a state or, like an OTC option in Colorado for elk, and they're just like overwhelmed by the amount of options, and they try to pick the unit. I always tell people, don't worry about picking the best unit. Just pick a unit. Pick a damn unit.
and then find the
and
best
then
spots.
and then
in
find the
that
best spots in that unit.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a good point, and I would always pass that advice on. Just, you know, pick a unit that kind of matches your style of hunting. If you want to backpack, pick a unit that's got some wilderness and some roadless country. You want to, you know, if you want to hunt close to the road, pick a unit that's got good elk numbers and you got a lot of good access,
roads.
you know,
Yeah.
and then hunt it that way. But then really pick apart your maps and start to find those areas.
E-scouting.
But yeah,
And I can tell you what I'm most excited about with e-scouting this year.
yeah, let's have it.
We finally have pulled off historical imagery in our e-scouting.
Historical imagery is so like. I want to swear right now because I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
Do
It is like
do it, Brady.
Just do it.
We're
Brady.
over. How?
I told Porter that because he always gets on me about.
but it's legit how excited I am.
He always gets on me, man. You cuss a lot. I'm like, I know, but when I'm excited, like you know, and that's what happens. And I'm genuinely excited, so I'm going to cuss on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm just letting you know right now.
I think
It's
we're past
gonna
our time limit when it's not okay.
Yeah.
Are we? 30. There
30
we go.
in.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Like legit, I'm fucking jacked
Let's
for
go.
historical imagery on GOHUNT.
I know, man. Me too. It's so awesome. I used Google. The number one thing I used Google Earth for was historical imagery.
Yep.
Like that essentially became the only reason I was still using it.
Yeah.
And now that is in e-scouting on GoHunt. Like
Yep.
it has made it awesome. And I can tell you, for me, I'm headed into, you know, I have a really good tag in my pocket, New Mexico elk again. It's the hunt that Trail and I did. You and I went back there, 6 years ago?
Yeah, it's been
And man,
been a hot minute.
It's been a while. So to look at that historical imagery, there's been a new burn.
Yep.
There's things have changed, and I have been grinding the historical imagery to look at. Okay, 6 years ago, this is what we were doing. This is what was going on. Now I can look 6 years, you know, over the last 6 years of history, and understand how, you know, make my best guess into what it's going to. What it's going to do to the elk this year, right? It's like it's giving me so much confidence going into that same spot 6 years later.
Yeah, it's so great. Like this is something I've been wanting for the longest time. And like you said, most hunters we know how Google Earth works.
Yeah,
We know the power of historical imagery, or if you don't, you know, we'll probably dive in here in a little bit and give some examples of what you can do. But like it's very similar setup to, you know, what you might have custom on or what you might have seen on Google Earth. You know, it has the same sliders type stuff. So once you jump on there, and we should mention too, this is web only.
web only. Yep.
So like, and I love that part of it too, because I love having a big screen. Like e-scouting to me is all about having a giant screen. So I want to do all my homework and my research right now. I want to know what that unit looks like the back of my hand before I go.
Well, it's hard to digest on a phone.
On a phone,
right?
yeah.
It's
It's
like
only a 5-inch screen.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
You're not getting the power.
You can't get
Yeah.
the breadth of what a unit is.
we're
You-
trying to give the most power for what the feature, the tool is that we've just built, and it's like it's on desktop. That's
Yeah,
where that's
you
where
just
it
don't
is.
get the perspective on a phone.
Exactly.
Yeah, which it makes way more sense on a desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, so basically once you click on GoHunt Maps on the left, you have a little black toolbar. I believe it's the fourth button down on the left. There's like a little
Little clock.
clock little thing. Yeah, a little stopwatch looking
You
thing.
can turn back time.
Yeah, turn back.
Time
Turn
travel.
back time.
Did you want to sing a song right there? I know the lyric went through your head.
I'm
that
not a very
Tina
good,
Turner?
I'm not a
Who
very
is
good
that?
singer. I don't do
I can't
karaoke.
remember. I don't.
Cher. If I could turn
Is it
back
Cher?
time, I think it's Cher.
I think it is Cher.
God, I love Cher.
Wow, you're dating yourself.
She's still alive.
Yeah, song by Cher, right there. That's
There you
who
go.
it
If
is.
you could turn
There
back
we
time.
go.
You guys didn't hear that lyric when I said that in your head?
Yeah,
We
I
should have
did,
named this
definitely did.
feature Cher.
We could name this podcast "If You Could Turn Back Time"
Perfect. Here we go.
with Cher
Yeah.
by proxy.
Yeah, so once you click on that little icon on the left, you can get a little pop-up that's going to say historical imagery. And then, like I said, it's just basically like Google Earth. You have newest imagery on the right, oldest imagery on the left. And then as you zoom in, you'll start to get more little boxes that you can click on. There'll be like little boxes, which Google Earth had those little lines. You always knew what the historical imagery was based on the line, and then there was a gap in between.
Yep.
So you tap on one of those lines or push the right and left arrow once you're up on top of there, and you can slide back and forth through that, or go newest to oldest, or go oldest to newest on the left.
Yep.
And so the imagery will change, and as you zoom in, you'll get a little bit more boxes. You can get a little bit more
Detail.
more detail, and more years out of that.
Yeah,
Which,
that's awesome,
I
man.
think historical imagery, you need to be zoomed in pretty far anyway to actually see some of the details. Like you're not going to zoom out to a whole state level and be like,
No.
all right, we're trying to do this. You can't see anything. You have, you have to be in e-scouting mode.
This is one of the
zoomed
final
in.
3 steps of finding those, you're e-scouting, you're trying to pick the 3 or 4 best spots within the unit you have a tag for. This is kind of the last, 1 to 3 steps of, okay, this is where I'm going.
Yep.
Like that's
So-
what you're using it for.
Since we're on the topic, let's talk it out. Let's flesh it out. Like, why are you so excited about imagery for time over time?
Because imagery is everything.
Historical imagery.
Historical imagery is everything.
What are you using it for?
Oh, So I like it. I like to use it for a lot of things. Like I might use it for, let's say an area, a big mountain range, and let's say whatever reason your mountain range has a bunch of snow on it, on the imagery, on the normal imagery, just that wherever we get our data from.
We should say it's a snapshot in time.
Snapshot in time.
Satellite flyby.
Satellite flyby.
There are vendors out there who offer satellite imagery, and you can go out there and purchase it from them, just like everyone does.
Yep.
And whatever imagery you purchase, that's what you have.
That's
what
you
you're
get.
stuck with.
So there's some mountain ranges across the west, whatever, that might have snow on them. So now historical imagery is going to allow you to go back in time.
Or a cloud cover.
Cloud cover for the most.
Yeah,
some
that's
areas
pain
do.
in the
You
ass.
can
I
see
get that
that
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now you can go back and get rid of that snow. That's the first one. It's really great. I've been using it a lot lately on burns.
Yep.
Just basically, I want to see what that spot looked like before the burn, and I want to see it transition through. Because if you look at it right away at a burn, you can't really tell how nasty it is. Like it just looks like a burn. But if I can go back through and figure out, all right, when this burn started by using the layer on the wildfire layer, and then I'll switch back over to historical imagery and then go back, transition through. I can see how that burn is transitioning over time. How green is it getting? Is it an area where that 3 years is prime, or later on, or more of the down timber starting to fall through till to the latest, newest imagery? But also I like to think of that too sometimes as like figuring out areas where people just don't want to go.
Yeah.
If I can figure out,
You like some jackstraw?
if I can figure out how nasty that burn
when
has
your
been
long
getting,
legs come in handy.
Oh,
huh?
man.
High step in.
Cheating.
if I can figure out how nasty that burn is, I can assume it's probably going to be nasty for me, so maybe I might want to skirt around it or whatever. But if I want to go straight to the middle, and other people are starting to see that same thing, like, wow, probably not going to go through there.
Yeah.
I want to go through there because I know, it's no secret burns are great for hunting. So you can just kind of like use it for so many different things, blow down trees, beetle kill areas, starting to look at that, and just look for water a lot of times too. Water in the high country, as most people know, is everything. It's backcountry gold. And so you can use historical imagery, kind of like go back in time with some of these high country bases, like, oh yeah, the vegetation all around it's burnt. But if I go back to a certain time frame, I can see a little sliver of green up on the mountain. There might be a little spring right there. Or Trail was doing the other day looking for wallows.
Yeah, I use it all the time. Look for wallows. Yeah, I'm an elk guy.
You get that leaf off imagery. You can really start finding some wallows.
I spend a lot of time looking for water because elk need water. I mean, they 4 gallons a day. They need it every day, especially through that rut. And I'm always looking for wallows in water. And it's great. Aerial imagery, historical imagery is great because you can literally go back in time and you can look at the landscape over time to see what a water source is doing. You can see if it's dried up, see if it's a holding tank. You can check the month that the image was taken. Be like, okay, was there water in that holding tank in September? And you can kind of go back through, and then I can also compare that with like our current weather, data, and look at the precip and kind of gauge on whether I think an area is going to hold water. But I would say that's a huge one for me. Like as an elk hunter, water's everything, and I'm using historical imagery all the time to look for water and feed.
Feed, yeah.
I don't know if people look. I mean, an elk, a mule deer, they got to eat. They're going to like green, especially early season. They're going to be putting on as much weight and put as many calories in their system as they can as they prepare for the winter and for the rut. Feed's a big one. Like you can really go back through historical imagery and look for feed and find those pockets that are the greenest later in the year.
Yeah.
So I use it all the time.
I can tell you one of my favorite things for it. It's kind of like my very last step, but like this elk hunt I'm going on, or the unit I've most primarily hunted in Utah was a burn unit as well. How long ago did that burn? When was that? That was 2015, 16?
16?
Yeah, 16.
I was going to say 16.
So a lot of the times in burn imagery, it's really hard to tell like the true burn and then the trees that are just burned but not killed. So like you can really follow up and see, okay, where are these green timber patches when they liven back up post burn? Like if you can find that green timber patch, dark timber in the middle of a burn, that's like, I get super jacked up about that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I remember in Utah in that burn, you can find these little slivers of live timber that made it through the burn somehow. Usually it's around water, obviously. But they look burnt the year it happens, but you start going forward 2-3 years and they green up like almost immediately. That dark timber in the middle of a burn has seemed to lead to a lot of elk for me.
Yeah,
finding a lot of elk. For
We
me.
talk a lot about edge habitat. I know Brady does. I do. We talk about mosaics, and really historical imagery allows you to really evaluate a landscape for edge habitat.
Yeah, 100%.
You can overlay your burn layers, and then now you can move the the historical date. You can kind of slide back and forth and really start to evaluate, looking for edge habitat, looking for mosaics.
Yep. One thing I
That
caught
was a
myself.
fancy way of saying what I was trying to say.
One thing I caught myself doing the other day too, because like you're like, oh yeah, I just want no snow on anything, like I talked about earlier. But there's times on historical imagery where I want a little bit of snow.
Well, like this year, you kind of want it to see it with some snow on there, right?
Yeah.
Like a year that had some snow, so you can understand which basins are holding and why and how
But
it all sits.
Even for some of these like later season hunts, so most of my mule deer hunts are October, or I try to get November mule deer tags. So if I can find some of those dates, sometimes they're in October, where I can see some of those leaves falling off, and I can see that bucks for that most part they're in the thick timber.
Yeah.
But if I got a little dusting of snow on that imagery or whatever reason, and I can see through those trees that there's snow on the ground, I know like, wow, I might be able to actually glass through the trees from this glassing knob, because that historical imagery is kind of showing me that canopy's opened up enough where I could glass those bucks that might be bedded down in some of those areas. And another thing too I was doing the other day, I was looking at trails, not like human trails.
Deer trails.
Deer trails.
Yeah, you came into my office and showed me. I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
You legit, as you go back in historical imagery, like just maybe the way the shadows lie in the imagery. Sometimes you can pick up a trail through a mountain, like a big scree field, for like guys who are maybe hunting sheep or goats or whatever. Or even like sometimes you can see like elk trails and deer trails up on the side of the mountain, just natural animals moving around. I'm like, all right, well that's pretty good. You might not be able to see it on the most recent date, but if you go back in time, just the way the camera angle is when it's taking the photo or the plane that's flying over, like you can be able to see all that stuff.
Yeah, he walked into my office yesterday and showed me. That's something I honestly hadn't thought of, is like going to find those fine details like that. It was awesome.
Yeah, you definitely
It was very
can.
incredible.
And even sometimes like you go back in time and for whatever reason, like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even 7 years ago, like that satellite imagery is bonkers good.
Yeah. It's
Just like
it's-
crazy good. For whatever reason, like back in time, it was
I would
way
love
more
to
detailed.
understand
Yeah,
why
the
it's so
resolution
much
is
better.
better.
Why the
Yeah.
resolution that time? Yeah.
I use it a lot for antelope. Same thing, finding water.
On
yeah.
water, huh?
Yeah, you can go back through the historical imagery and check water holes, and you can really start to see like holding water, no water, water, holding water. You can compare that back, like I said, to the precip, and you can really gauge what water holes are going to hold water for antelope.
Yep,
Like
100%.
if you're scouting for antelope, I mean, same thing with elk. In a lot of ways, it's water's everything. I start with water. It's the first step I use.
Very
Yeah.
first step.
So-
Yep.
Yeah, I use it a lot for that. I was going to ask you, historical imagery, this has been an ask for us forever, right? I think we've
Yeah.
been talking about it for a really
For a
long
long
time.
For a long time. We all want it.
It really sucks how long it takes to build shit. It drives me insane. It drives me insane. We've got a laundry list of things we want to do, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that we're working on.
but man, it takes time.
Point being, I think we all understand the gravity of historical imagery. So if it's not coming through here via,
It was just
It is a badass tool.
It was
We need to
finally-
use
pretty
it.
great.
It was finally handed over to us from the tech team, and all of us were like, "Holy shit, it's here!"
Yeah.
Like we're all running around the office talking to each other. Look what I did! Look what I found!
yeah, pretty cool.
So speaking of, like you said earlier, that I always talk to my dad on the phone. So
Daddy's boy.
Yeah.
So
Better call your mom after this.
Yeah, I really do. So there's probably some of my dad's friends are going to listen to this and go, "Hey, Roxanne, Brady was talking about you on the podcast." But yeah, I was talking to my dad yesterday because it's finally live on GoHunt historical imagery. I was like, "Dad, jump on GoHunt Maps right now. I got something to show you." So I pulled up my dad's whitetail property in Minnesota, and I was blown away. Like the power of this in whitetail country. Like I haven't whitetail hunted in. I thought about the other day. I haven't whitetail hunted in 20 years.
Oh,
It's been 20 years since I shot a whitetail.
Wow, true Western guy now.
Yeah, pretty crazy to think about. So like, I've never actually used this tool since we've been designing it and building it and took it
For
over
whitetail.
For whitetail. So I went over my dad's property, started diving in, looking at it. First imagery, yeah, it looks great. I can see my dad's field. I can see how he, cuts his corn, plants everything, where his stand are, because he has a big stand, like an observation stand out in the middle of the field. But then I start going back in time. And I was like, Dad, you remember 2017 when you had your corn set up this way? I was like, yeah, that was a really good year for bucks. And I kind of want to replicate it. I was like, well, you can look on GoHunt Maps right now and see that history of how you set up your property, and then think about what the success was during that hunting season based on how you planted things. And so I was showing it. He was blown away. He's like, wow, yeah, we had we had this food plot over at Bryce's area. We did this main stuff in the main field. We had these other sub food plots over here, and you can see all that on the satellite imagery as you're scrolling through, going back in time. And then the thing I really thought was valuable is I went back on the historical imagery and got to a point where it was like early May, which you think, oh, you don't need early May footage at all because we're whitetail hunters. But the nice thing was, again, it was no leaves on the trees. And it was kind of that dusting of snow on the bottom.
In May?
In May. Like, we had a lot of snow this last year, but
Sure.
like, I think it was early
how far
May.
north you are.
That is far north.
Yeah.
They got accents out there. That's how far north it is.
Yeah. So, but the really cool thing was, though, we could see all the trails my dad had cut on the property for deer travel routes. So right now I can go through and I could trace all those and make little trace marks easier rather than walking through the property, because my dad will not allow us to walk through the property once a certain time frame comes.
True whitetail hunter.
Yeah, you're not allowed to enter the woods at all. You can only enter the woods in the winter. And so like right now I could go through and trace them all for him, exact trails, and put that on the map so he knows exactly where those deer ruts are, because he does all sorts of hinge cutting and all that stuff to like promote deer habitat in certain places of the property. And I'm not a whitetail guy, but I'm just like thinking about how I know he uses it. But like there's probably way more ways you can use that historical imagery for a whitetail hunter.
Well, you were showing me that yesterday too, and you can see how he worked the property and
Yeah.
what's changed. Well, then he found that May imagery, and you can see the game trails through the woods that he doesn't let them walk in.
Which you would never see otherwise.
You
No,
would never
and
see
you-
otherwise because it's always
And you can really
candy covered.
understand why these fields are producing. When
Yeah.
you start seeing how many game trails are coming through each parts of the wood into that opening, it's pretty wild.
That's cool.
So just like all these different things. That's why this tool is so freaking badass.
Yeah.
Like I could just yell right now how excited it is for like
Go for it.
Yeah, it's just it basically opens the doors.
You ever heard Brady yell? I don't think I ever have.
I'm just getting jacked up. Like, okay, the biggest thing right now.
I don't know if I have.
I don't think I ever have either.
So you know the saying, like a picture's worth 1,000 words?
Yeah.
Well, what's like 10 different satellite imagery pictures? That's
10,000.
10,000 words.
I'm not a math guy, but
Multiplication of words.
Yeah.
So like that's how like much more detail you get now. You get way more
Yeah.
effing maps.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
just
want more maps.
another piece of the puzzle. You
It
know,
is.
I mean, we talked about it with Barclow when he was here last week, but I mean, knowledge is everything. It's just one more piece, another cog in the wheel that's just going to make it that much more effective.
More successful.
Yeah.
Not all of us are, lucky enough to be trail with a deer tag in our backyard.
My backyard.
Yeah.
It's like it matters for most of us.
Yeah.
Like truly matters for most of us. Put us in the right spot.
Yeah. Let's dive in. Like you've got an elk tag.
Oh wow, yeah, we haven't talked about that in the podcast.
Oh, we haven't?
No.
Brady's a big
Brady has an
elk
tag.
guy.
And this is a big elk guy tag.
It's
too.
a big elk tag.
Oh, it is a big elk tag.
Yeah. So
What's-
I could ran for a while on that. But
What's the process? So you've got a tag. I've got a tag. You've got a
I
tag.
got an elk tag.
yeah,
How many tags? You've got some tags.
I have 2 tags.
You got 2 tags.
I got
You're
pile
like me.
tags.
I got a baby on the way. It's I don't know. I'm really struggling here.
Yeah.
Because I know myself too.
Sure.
And I'm on filtering 2.0 and I'm finding second choices. I told my wife, hey, I'll try to be home. I'll be grounded in October. And now I'm kind of like, hey, so the first week in October, are you cool with me being gone?
You good to go?
Like, how soon after the baby am I allowed to go again?
Yeah.
What's
So you got a tag. What's your first step? What do you do?
First step, literally the day after.
You see successful in your email.
Yeah, that was a funny story. Should we tell a story about
Yeah.
Andrew the
This
tag?
is a very funny story.
So I was on.
It's good for you. It shows you when you use all the tools, this is what happens.
Yeah, some people make fun of my strategy of how I just try to get tags every single year, and then our species I don't really care about, but I think it works out really well because I have a great strategy for just piling up some baller elk tags here coming up. So I have multiple double-digit points, in all states. So I knew eventually I'd probably draw an elk tag in my home state, and I just knew the water year was so phenomenal here in the winter. It's like, it's be a great year to finally burn those points and just start over again. So Nevada draw results come out on a Friday. I'm literally on a date with a girl.
Ooh.
Earlier that day,
How'd the day go?
Say more.
it was okay. Yeah.
Was it as good as your results?
No, the results were way better. so literally earlier in the day, I did not draw a single thing. Like tag results were all red, nothing, didn't draw a single thing. So I'm on this date, all of a sudden I get a little buzz on my watch. It says, congratulations, you've been awarded an alternate tag. So I was like, girl, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Is that what you did?
I literally said, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Was it like
this is
mid-conversation?
Mid-conversation, just,
Like she's like, man, I'm really having a good time. I feel like the chemistry's good. We're really clicking. And you're like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I gotta leave. Date's over. No, I'm kidding. So I went to the bathroom because I didn't want to be rude and pull up my cell phone on a date, and like scroll through my email and like get jacked up at the table. So I went to the bathroom, pulled out my phone. I was like, holy shit. I drew like my dream elk tag. pretty cool.
Pretty
so
sick.
So someone turned it back in, and I was the first name on it because that was my first choice.
Was your energy level different when you went back to the table?
Oh yeah, I grabbed another beer. another 22 ounce or whatever they are.
Was she like, hey, what happened?
Yeah, I ended up telling her.
Oh, you told her?
Yeah, I told her.
She probably wasn't excited. As excited. She probably didn't get it at all, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't understand.
Yeah. So then literally the next day, like this is how like important e-scouting is to me. Like when I pick up deer tags and
You finished the date though. You didn't
the date.
immediately be like, you know what?
No.
Some bad sushi. I better head home.
But my mind was kind of other
sushi.
places. My mind definitely was other places, which was probably not good. But so literally the next day I jumped on maps and started e-scouting. Because I want to know everything about that unit before I ever step foot in it. I want to know it, like I said earlier, like the back of my hand.
Okay.
And the first step for me is just scrolling around. Just literally sitting back on my computer, my legs kicked up on my couch with the coffee, and just scrolling through, just seeing what everything kind of looks like.
So you pull up maps.
Yep. Pull up the unit.
We're not saying what state.
Nope, not saying what
Okay.
state. I think I said earlier, but
So you overlay the hunt units, which
Yep.
is a layer, right?
Yep.
And then what other layers are you looking at? Pretty quick, or are you not even looking at layers at this point?
Well, a lot of times right now it's just unit boundary basically. I'll throw on roads and trails. 'Cause I think roads and trails are very important to me because I want to get away from, everyone knows I hate people. So I want to get away from people. Like I'll say it, I don't like,
Did you have a second
I don't
date
like
with
humans.
this girl?
Say what?
Did you have a second date with this girl? Or did you just say,
No,
I hate people?
we didn't have a second date because of me.
You should lead in with that. You're at an age right now, I feel like you can just be completely blunt and out
Yeah.
front. You're
That's
like,
what's
you know
so-
what?
That's what's so great about
I just don't like people. We'll see how this goes, but I'm just going to throw you that bone.
Yeah. So literally, like roads and trails to me are important because it's, I want to know where other people might be. And there's not a lot of tags too. That's what's great about drawing, one of these lifetime dream tags. There's not a lot of tags. But to me, it's still like try to get away from people. And even though, I know I could kill a bull close to the road, I still want an adventure out of it. I still want to go freaking struggle. I enjoy that part.
The roads and trails is probably one of the last layers I look at.
I agree.
I look at it right away.
Yeah.
Brady, I totally agree.
First one I
Brady's
throw
just
up
Yeah,
is
public-
land boundaries.
Yeah,
So I
that's
pull
gonna be
up
good.
public, private.
Well, the state I have is pretty much all public for a lot of things. so.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's usually even in that state. I have a tag in a similar state.
But like right away though, I just want to see what everything looks like. I'm literally like doing like a flyover. I'm literally just cruising around, looking at what the units are, looking at what the the canyons might be, looking at all these finger ridges. Not really thinking too much about it besides for just assessing the situation, figuring out how big it is, figuring out how I can get up there. And like I said, then I might dive in and throw some public land layers on. Like, all right, that's confirmed public land. I'll adjust the transparency down. That's one thing I really love that we allow you to do.
Yeah.
Is I can crank the transparency up, see it really easy from zoomed out view, lower it down as I kind of get in there. And then I'm kind of just, I'm kind of blind when it comes to elk, so I need to lean on more experts like Trail and other people to find elk. But I know how to
You're
find
kind
some.
of like blind in real life though too.
I am very blind. Yeah, if I took out my contacts right now, I would not know who
You're
any of you guys
actually
were.
blind.
I'm
It
actually
is so
like, almost
crazy.
legally blind.
It's so crazy, his eyesight. It's wild.
Yeah,
That's why you should like hunting elk. They're very visible.
very visible. I love glassing big school
Yellow
buses.
school bus
Yeah.
on a hillside.
So yeah, like after I started, diving around, I was just kind of looking for some remote canyons that might have some, habitat that I know like a later season bull might want to go into
So
because it's a muzzleloader hunt.
So it's a late season tag.
Yeah, so late October.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's gonna determine your scouting, your e-scouting is
Yeah.
the timing of your tag and your species, right?
Yeah, because I know like they're not going to be in typical spots where they're going to be rutting. They might be coming down off that or starting to bachelor up again, or
Starting to head into the more nasty stuff.
yeah, it's nastier stuff.
That's another good thing about historical imagery. I don't know we even specifically talked about, but if you got a late season elk tag, and I did a little video, I pulled out some statistic from a study that elk use a south facing slope 2 times more in the winter than they'll use a south facing slope in the summer. So they're using south facing slopes, and they're primarily because you get that solar radiation. Those slopes are bared off and there's feed on it, right? That's another great thing about historical imagery is you can go back through and it's quite likely that you can find a image during that time frame when you've got a little bit of snow on the ground and you can visually see where you're bared off slopes. I mean, we've got
that's
the
huge.
terrain analysis tool that we'll talk about, but you can see it. You can see what slopes are bare right off the gate. You're just like, yep,
There we go.
Possible.
Yeah. And then what I like to do too, right when I'm doing this like flyover portion, like I'll start dropping some waypoints. Like I'll just drop it like
You're dropping waypoints already.
yeah. Like looks good. I want to reference that so I don't forget about it later.
Are you just dropping them on areas you think there might be elk?
Just areas where I might think there's animals.
Are
Yeah,
you
for this
using
case,
polygon tool to circle
nope,
that?
not yet at all.
You're
Just dropping it because like if you're flying around, you're doing all this intimate work. Like I don't want to lose that time. And,
No intimate work with the date, just intimate work with the elk tag you got.
I don't want to forget that research
I like
that I'm
this
doing.
choice of words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always got some good ones. Yeah, so it's intimate to me. Like you are really one with the map. You're one with the terrain. You need to actually do everything possible to try to put your best foot forward.
You're taking notes on it.
Yeah, so you need to take notes because if I casually go through it that day after, life hits. You know, I'm giving a bunch of seminars lately. I'm stressing all about those, like trying to prepare for it. Life hits. I can't do a lot of stuff all the time, or I have family stuff going on, or if you have kids, you know, like, so that first day you're looking at it, you still want to drop stuff so you remember it later. Like, oh yeah, that canyon looked really great. Or that little area looked like, oh, thick, nasty. Like I can see a big bull. You forget it. So I'm starting to like drop a few waypoints up and down some areas. And then I'm kind of going back through there, maybe the next day or a couple days after, and starting to drop, some glassing waypoints. Like, hey, this is a good potential spot. I might want to glass in the summer, try to go up there because I am going to put boots in the ground in the summer, even though my hunt's not till later on. Like, I just want to know the roads, know the trails, know the access points, know towns, know where I can get gas, know potential camping up there. So there's all this right now, just laying the groundwork and the foundation for what's to come. And that's why I think just running around the whole unit on my computer.
What other layers are you using?
I'm heavy in 3D maps.
Okay.
So mainly 3D. Like I said, I first turn roads and trails on. I'm going to turn, public private probably right after that, just to really dive in. And then I'm turning a lot of times just water.
Water.
Yeah.
You're looking at water.
Yeah, because it's not like one of those migration hunts where I need to turn on some migration layers or anything like that. But I just like the basics a lot of times for some of the stuff, like just initial look through
The fundamentals.
Yeah, I'm not diving in yet, trying to find exact spots or anything like that. I'm just cruising. I'm looking at timber. I'm looking at like you said earlier, feed. I'm looking
Throwing a burn layer, see if there was something in there.
Burns are big. I love burns, so I'll definitely go to wildfires. But I'm really just looking at habitat, and that's why I think it's great to have the historical imagery tool, especially as an elk hunter.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm kind of turning all of them as I go. So like I'll pull up the unit like you. I'll do a quick look over, just real quick. Usually my first layer is public-private, and then I may leave that on or turn it off depending on what it looks like. If it's mostly public, I may just turn it off so that I can see the whole unit. And then I'm running down through things like fire. Usually fire is one of the first ones, and I love the fact that you can turn on your fire layers by year. I'm probably going to turn on like the first 5 years first and just look at those. I really do like, I was looking down through our layers. You've got species distribution. So a lot of these have got summer ranges, antelope concentration areas. You've got winter range. So if you've got a tag like you that's, later in the season, so winter range tag, you can look at those for both, mule deer, elk, even antelope. Yep. A lot of those are pretty damn accurate depending on the state and the available data. But like a state like Colorado or, what was I looking at the other day? I'm trying to remember what state. It might have been Colorado. I was probably looking at elk.
Probably. I know you the way
probably
I think
looking
I
at
do.
elk. But you can throw in those like summer concentration areas and like very easily see where's your summer range. And then you can turn on your winter ranges. You could turn on the migration corridors, and you're like putting the puzzle pieces together. You're like, okay, here's summer range, here's winter range, here's your migration corridors. Okay, this canyon ought to produce some damn elk. You know what I mean? It's pretty easy to kind of put the puzzle pieces together. But I'm using those. I love the fact that we've got, what was the one I was just looking at here? You've got clear cuts, you've got grazing allotments.
Grazing allotments, yeah. That's
grazing
a good one.
allotments is one, but like, there's this like whole suite of tools, and I typically like to turn on
all of them right.
a shit ton of them.
You're going a shit ton of them early in the process.
Early, yeah. Okay. And then, early. And then I'm addressing the transparencies. And what I'm looking for is like crossover.
Was that called a Venn diagram? The circles and when they all.
Oh, you're talking, like when you catch a serial killer and you put all the different clues on a thing.
Just the one fine circle.
And you put yarn and string them together.
Yeah, you just go right in right once. That's an interesting strategy.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm looking at everything, and I'm evaluating the map, the landscape from, a 30,000 foot view. I'm looking at it and I'm starting to pick apart areas based on the tag that I have. And I'm going, okay, there's something here. I've got a burn. I've got some mosaic. I've got a travel corridor. I've got summer range here. I've got winter range here.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to like pick it apart. And then like, I very rarely drop waypoints.
I know
like,
you don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're not a
we need to
waypoint
change
guy.
that.
I'm not a waypoint guy, but I think I should become a waypoint guy. I should become a polygon guy, dropping polygons on.
I've become more over the years, a lot more. I used to just be very kind of free flowing with it like that. And over the years, I've gotten way more into dropping waypoints, doing the polygon tool, all that stuff.
I don't tend to forget though. Like, I can't think of a time when I've like thought about an area and then, didn't drop a waypoint, and then later on was like, oh yeah, I thought about that area. Like I tend to hold on to those areas that I gravitate to that like I think have potential, and I'm like, yep, those are A, B, C, and D, E, F, and G, and I'm gonna check those out.
But for the most part, though, what I'm kind of talking about forgetting some stuff is like that little tiny ridge line or something that really like struck it to me. Like,
I'll drop them on water.
Yeah,
Water.
I don't drop
wallows.
it on water.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, if I got an antelope tag, I'm dropping a waypoint on every single water hole. Like when we went to Colorado last year.
Oh yeah, we had 60, 70 waypoints
I
of
kicked
water.
you guys out I shared the file with you, which
That
was
was
great.
I think I mentioned it to you. I was the most impressed of your e-scouting ever because he literally gave us a giant thing of.
Yeah, which I shared the whole file, right?
Yeah.
And I had every single water hole. I had 67 water holes that I just dropped a pin on, and that I think is super important for antelope, and then also for elk. I'm dropping points on wallows, but I very rarely glassing points. I'll drop a point on a glassing point.
I do glassing points a lot.
But I don't usually drop them in an area that I'm like, oh, I need to go back there.
Yeah, one thing I want to touch on too, which you were kind of alluding to, is some of these later season hunts. Like you're saying, you're tossing on species distribution. You're tossing on public land, migration corridors, all that stuff. Like you really can stack them. You can stack layers, and I think that's where the power really gets in. Like when you're doing your level, like I do that level a little later on in the process, but like you can stack on your public. You can stack on top of that public, winter range.
Yep.
And then you're really finding those areas that all that stuff crosses. Again, like the Venn diagram, if that is correct. But
I'm glad you knew
But
that.
like that, that's where I think the real power in e-scouting, when you can do all that crossover, especially if you have a super late season hunt where those animals might start migrating off the mountain and they might go down to private. Like, it does you no good if that winter range is in private and you have to hunt public. But if that winter range just goes up into public quite a bit, and you said a lot of times they are pretty accurate, and all that stuff crosses, hey, that's a good area to check out.
Yeah. Use terrain analysis much?
I do. It all depends, right? Like my first thing is what tag I have. So obviously, I feel like that goes without saying, but just to, for detail's sake, depends on which tag I have. So I have this year have an archery rut elk tag. So I'm not, right there. It's September. I know the dates. I know what's going on. I know water is going to be a huge deal. I know burns are going to be a huge deal. I know open country is going to be a big deal, right? All that stuff. So that's primarily what I'm doing. And then kind of like I spoke to it in the beginning, the last 3 steps for me, it would be terrain analysis, historical imagery, and then polygon, like like my areas that I want to hunt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like once I get to that level, I do a little bit of the high level stuff like Brady. I'm not as free flowing as you. I don't have a good enough memory to do that. I was told a long time ago, like when you have kids, you start to realize the meaning of time. Holy shit, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. So like I forget things so easy. My wife wants to kill me half the time because like I'll have it in my mind and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to forget that. Literally 7 minutes later, it's gone. It's out the door. Like it's just how my mind works. So I have to, like I've gotten really, I hold myself accountable now to like drop waypoints, take notes, so that doesn't happen to me. I know that is like my personality. That's what's inevitable. So I try to fight that as much as possible. And then I get more detailed, like you looking at the Venn diagram crossovers. But my last 3 steps are terrain analysis, historical imagery, polygons.
Gotcha. Terrain analysis?
Do you want me to swear again?
Is it
You use that more than anybody I know.
Is that your favorite tool?
It's one of my favorite tools.
Maybe people don't know what terrain analysis is within our maps, GOHUNT maps.
Okay, I'll give you one sentence.
Give us
one word
a
summary
rundown.
or a couple word summary. It is everything.
Oh, come on.
He does. He uses it more than anybody I know.
I'll dive in now and explain why it's everything. So terrain analysis, it's one of those tools that like I was kind of doing this back in the day, and we've always wanted it. We got together some smart minds and we put it together. I wasn't the only one, but like a lot of smart people in this office. And what basically terrain analysis does is going to break down an entire mountain. It could be coulee country, it could be flat country, whatever it may be. It's going to break down all that terrain for you in an easily digestible manner. So it's going to break apart by elevation. You can go from like, I don't know, a couple hundred feet to like 14,400 feet. So as you can have those sliders. So you can take the sliders and narrow that window down. So if you know you're hunting an area and you want to hunt, high alpine mule deer or whatever, you could probably crank that to, 9,000 to 13,000 feet, depending on where you're at. So now it's going to highlight that in color. So you can zoom out and actually see all those high elevation areas really easily in your unit based on your like kind of filtering. It's basically like our insider filtering, but on a map. And then you can go through and do slope. So that's going to be the steepness of the terrain. So it's broken up into different steepness bands.
Yeah, 0 to 5, 5 to 15, 15 to 25, 25, 35, 35 plus.
Yep. And animals are using different slopes and different elevations at different time of year, and also different aspects at different time of year. So the third one is going to be aspects. So that's which way the mountain's facing, north, northeast, east, all the way through the whole thing. And there's also a flats layer. Yeah. And the flats layer is really good for trying to find camping spots. So everyone knows when you're in the mountain, you're like, oh, it's raining out. I need to find a camping spot really quick. Shoot, everything's all nasty. Well, if you're done e-scouting, like you should, you'd already had those flats marked down and potentially all the areas you're going to be going. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit different when you're in the field, but at least it gives you a really good idea of where those flat layers are. So I use the terrain analysis tool all the time. My biggest tip, like I always talk about quite a bit and do some articles on it. I don't really like to talk about it too much because it is so juicy, but I love Trail wants me to give information more.
Just give it all.
Give it all.
Give it to the people what they deserve. So yeah. Guys, use podcast promo code. You're going to get this stuff. little shout out. So I use it for kill location analysis. I think that's one of the biggest things, or also just collecting data on stuff you see in the field. So I've analyzed over the years all my kill locations for all my animals in, like an October timeframe, for example, or in November. I'll group those in different buckets. So I'll take all those kill locations, I'll add them to a specific hunt folder, either in one state or multiple states. And what I can go through is then I'll start manipulating the terrain analysis tool to figure out, okay, what slope are those kills in that spot? What elevation is in that? What's the aspect? All right. Now I'll take that information. I can write that in Hunt Planner on my little area of all my kill location analysis to start to develop a data set.
You can extrapolate that out across the landscape.
Yep. So then I'm looking at, all right, well, can I extrapolate that in the unit itself? I'm killing bucks in this terrain, in this unit, but is there other areas I haven't been to before? Because everyone knows I love going one more ridge and just going further and further and further.
Or a different unit.
Or a different unit or a different state. But then also what I'm doing is starting to gather all that data. And as I hunt more, like, if you have a sample size of 1, it's, not statistically significant. But as you keep hunting more and more and more, that data set's growing and growing and growing, and you get a better representation of exactly what you're looking at. So then I'll also look at the terrain behind those layers. That's where I'll take the transparency of the terrain analysis. I'll start sliding it down. Is there trees? Is there a band of trees? Is there a rock cliff? Like, what is holding those deer in those areas? And then I'll start scrolling around the unit with those exact criteria entered in terrain analysis. So it's going to highlight those areas of, maybe it's 25 to 35 degrees, whatever aspect is or whatever elevation is. I'm hiding some things, but
we just agreed we were going to give the people what they want.
And then I'll scroll around and start dropping waypoints on some areas that meet that exact criteria. And that'll give me a great starting point. Another great thing I do with terrain analysis tool is everyone knows I'm giant on waypoints. So every time I'm in the field, I see a deer, I mark it. Doe, buck. If I see an elk, I mark it. If I see a bear, whatever it is, I mark those animals. So that's like, I'm trying to find the pieces of the puzzle of why that animal is there at that exact period of time. Not just assuming the deer are going to be there. Why are they there then at that specific period of time? And are they going to still be there? If I'm hunting in November, why is that animal there at that period of time? Was it snowpack up on top that pushed them down to there? Is it hunting pressure? You're trying to just, put together that piece of the puzzle again to try to get an exact snapshot of that animal's life. So every time I'm out there, I'm dropping waypoints. Let's say I want to go back to an area 5 years from now. I had marked, I saw a shit ton of bulls in this spot. Well, I got them all marked from before, pull up my terrain analysis tool, start figuring out exactly what elevations they were at that time of year, at that specific day they were here. Maybe they'll be there again. You can what animals do is rooted on science for the most part. You can just assume that animals are there, the herd's there, they're there for a reason. and I can extrapolate all that to find other hunting areas. And that's why the terrain analysis tool is so powerful to me. I can highlight, like maybe for my elk tag, would you suggest, if I was going on an elk hunt, highlight a north facing slope, try to get some water, try to get some bedding areas. I can start figuring that out just by using that aspect to do that. Or if I'm going on a spring bear hunt's over right now, but like I could highlight some south facing slopes, really highlight exactly where that green grass might be.
Let me ask you this though. So you left out some info, I think by design there. Would you spoke to, if it's one animal, two animals, it's not significant enough to like draw a conclusion off of.
Yeah.
Do you have a data set that is proven to be significant? Like it is proven to?
No, I don't know what the statistical significance would be. It's like when you do surveys, you have to be over a certain number, and but it's like I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. And then if
you are noticing, I'm
noticing trends.
Okay.
I'm definitely noticing trends,
okay.
And that's all I'm looking at is like trying to figure out the trends. And I'll take it, for example, some of the stuff I've done, with my family. We kill a lot of bucks on our family hunt every year, so I have way more data to go off there. And I was looking at that the other day before I gave that seminar at Sitka, and I'm just blown away about exactly where I'm killing these bucks in certain areas and certain terrain. There's definitely a trend of where they're kind of hanging out. And sure, you could also say the flip side. Well, Brady, that's just where you're glassing more often, or that's just
where you're hunting.
That's just where you're hunting. Mm-hmm. But also, you can't just say once you look at all this data set, I'm finding deer all the time on a west-facing slope at this degrees of slope at this elevation. They're always going to be there. You can't just throw your eggs in one basket. You have to look at everything still, but it'll give you more data to lean on when you're doing e-scouting, trying to find that terrain. Maybe it's just terrain that you're really good hunting. Like you really like glassing that certain direction because,
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you grow up in certain areas, you hunt certain areas. I like sage and cedars, and there's deer in sage and cedars, but I can use the same tools that you're using for the same reason. I can still extrapolate the exact same types of information just for a different area based on where I'm finding animals or where I'm killing animals. I mean, it's not like... I don't think what you're saying is it's not like it's a catch-all. Like you have to work from your data set, and that people should hunt in those areas because that's where the deer are. There might be deer spread out across the landscape in a lot of ways, but they're there. Regardless of where they are, they're there for a reason.
For a reason. That's what I think the biggest thing is animals are there on a specific day for a specific reason, and it's your job to figure out the why. Yeah. If you can figure out the why, that's going to open up so much doors for all the other units you're hunting, all the other states you're hunting, and start to get that data.
And to your point too, like people saying, that's just where you're hunting, that's just where you like to hunt. Well, yeah, right.
Great.
Like everybody has a preference of what they want to hunt, and what they're best at. Mm-hmm. Why would you not want to find the areas in those that'll play to your strengths? Why would you not want to find those areas first? Right? Mm-hmm. Like that makes total sense to me. And of course, that's where you want to go.
And then now with historical imagery, I can start to go back and look at that historical imagery. What did that landscape look like when I hunted it? What did that burn look like? Yeah. It's no secret. Burns are really good for hunting animals.
Yeah, for folks that don't have a robust data set like you do, that have spent a bunch of time on a landscape recording, every buck or deer or bull or bear that they've seen or killed. I mean, if you look at just the studies that have been done,
wildlife biology studies.
Yeah, man. I talked about it on this elk video we did. I mean, statistically, studies that suggest that elk prefer slope between 15 and 30 degrees, and then it significantly decreases the use of a slope anything above and beyond 30, 40. It's just too damn steep, right? Same thing with bedding cover. That early season, summer through really the rut, and maybe even that time frame before snow flies. Bedding country, they're going to like northeast, facing slopes. They're going to like a canopy cover of 75 to 100%. That's just stuff that's out there. I mean, you can pull it up. You can watch my YouTube video that I did. You can watch the one that Brady did. You can pull the same kinds of information out of that. So you don't necessarily need it helps.
It helps.
I agree. Ultimately, build your own set, and that's kick ass.
And then you're also just confirming it too. You're confirming what you're reading.
For sure.
But like I said earlier, though, a lot of this stuff is based on science, and everyone knows, Trail and I have a big, biology background.
Not me. I wasn't smart enough.
and we love this type of stuff.
I think you were smart enough. I think that's the point. I think the point is you were smart enough not to go down that road.
Well, maybe.
But that's why I did an article. So I did an article December of this last year. It's called "Research Your Way to Big Bucks with a Tool You're Probably Not Using." Mm-hmm. And I was literally diving through how to find biology reports on the internet using Google Scholar.
Yeah, and you can use that information in conjunction with terrain analysis. I'm with you. I think terrain analysis is probably one of the coolest tools that we've got. And we keep adding tools to it to make it that much more effective. You talk historical imagery. We're jacked about that. I mean,
Yeah.
use that in conjunction with the terrain analysis. You can now look at slopes. You can look at, aspect of a slope. I mean, it's just another tool.
That's what I find myself doing is, like, I probably should use it to start with, like you are. But once I find the areas that I like, that I'm comfortable, like I feel confident going into, I find the areas that I like. I like the glass. I like open country. I don't like deep, dark timber. I didn't grow up around it. It's not what I did as a kid. I mean, obviously, if you got to do what you got to do when you get into certain situations, but I find those areas, and then I use terrain analysis to like figure out logistically how I'm going to hunt that area, right?
Yeah.
Based
Or
on
you can
slope
find new
and
areas.
animals. Yeah.
I mean, if you strike out, it's always good to have a backup plan. I mean,
for sure.
You hunt the stuff that looks best, and then you go down to plan. You might end up plan D,
F.
C, F.
Plan F, and then finally get it done.
F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and then with historical imagery on top of that that's awesome.
So it sounds like, I mean, you have all the tools. We've talked about a bunch. I don't know if do you want to go too much deeper into like individual species and how you're using it, or do you want to dive into like you actually get out on the ground and like what's your next step?
Yeah,
Like, what's a scouting trip look like for you?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of curious what your scouting trip's looking like for your deer this year. Like, what are you like?
Trail is the king of boots on the ground scouting.
Yeah, what are you trying to do? First thing, when
Find
you
a
get
buck.
Where do you start? Like you live and die by on the boots.
Yeah,
or boots on the ground scouting. Where do you start with that?
I mean, I can look at maps till I'm blue in the face, and I do. I mean, a lot of, especially if I'm going to a new area, I'll spend a significant amount of time looking at e-scouting and just picking out areas. And I typically have got, I would say, when I've got a plan together to go out and I'm going to get boots on the ground, the things I'm looking for pre-scouting. Is it pre-scouting or just scouting? I think it's just scouting. Because if technically you're hunting, if you're not scouting, right? You're scouting.
What is
I don't think pre-scouting is a thing. I think it's just scouting. But so if I'm going out on a scouting mission, first and foremost, the thing that I'm thinking about is glassing, because I think that's my primary tool to find an animal. So I want to have identified the areas that I want to scout, and then I want to have found the best glassing locations within those areas that I can cover. So I would say I'm dropping points on glassing, and that's like my primary tool for finding animals is glassing points. So I'm definitely going to have those identified. The other thing I would say when it comes to scouting is I want to make the most of my time when I actually get out on the ground. I want to be at my glassing point before light. I want to glass until maybe that 10, 30, 11 o'clock. And then I'm going to spend my afternoon hours, either on an ATV or in my truck, my 4Runner, just cruising roads and just like looking at landscape and just like looking at looking at the country. Like, what does it look like? Because it never looks the same as it does on a map. Like even if I feel like I've done it due diligence, e-scouting, it never looks the same. Yeah. Not exactly the same. I can get a good idea. Yeah. I can start to like recognize features and canyons and but it just never looks the same.
So you're covering country.
I'm covering country during the middle of the day, and then evening, same thing. I'm going to be at a glassing point, probably an hour and a half, 2 hours before dark, and I'm going to be parked there behind a tripod glassing. But those are I make the most of my time.
Yep, you have to.
Morning and evening.
Hike in the dark.
Midday, hike in the dark. Which is another great thing about maps. I mean, that's a thing that didn't exist, when I was a kid and growing up, is that you didn't have the ability and the confidence that you have now to hike out to a glassing point in the dark. You could stumble around in the dark without a GPS forever, but now that you've got everything on your phone, you've got your maps downloaded, I can feel totally confident, having never been to an area, that I can walk right to that glassing point in the middle of the night.
Yeah, especially like dropping like a little breadcrumb track as you're going through there, navigate through cliffs and stuff like that. Like you do it during the day, you got to come back down. Like
for glassing,
confidence levels.
Yeah, glassing point in the evening, I'm definitely laying down a track going in so that when I hike out in the dark, I can follow my track right back to my vehicle. Or if I'm going to stay out there, same thing, just find my way back. But I think I've ran into so many people over the years. They're scouting a new area. They'll go out and hike to a glassing point. I'll run into them. We'll sit there and shoot the shit. And 30 minutes before dark, they're like, "Well, I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna make it back to my vehicle." And they just want the confidence, safety net. Of hiking back to their truck. Man, if you're missing the last half hour of light, like you're missing it.
You're missing 90%.
Same thing in the morning. If you're not getting there until it's already been light for a half an hour, you're probably missing it. Especially for those big bucks, because a lot of them don't let the sun ever hit their back.
The first half hour and the last half hour is 90% of activity.
Yeah.
And then you lose about, 1% of every hour,
Yeah.
pre and post that.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm finding areas, I'm finding glassing points, and I'm hitting those glassing points hard. And I'm just putting all my time behind
How far are you
glass.
glassing from? You trying to stay out of the areas you think are holding deer?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I try to pick areas where I can look over a lot of country. That's like my first step is I want to hit areas where I can look out over more country. So I might be looking a long ways. And then I would say on subsequent scouting trips, if I haven't found a buck that I'm really interested in, then I'm going to probably move into those like little pockets and I'm going to be closer, but I'm going to kind of save those because I want to look at them. I want to kind of baby
So you're
them a little bit.
more coming from the mindset of covering country with your eyes instead of just like not,
For sure.
not disturbing the animal itself.
Yeah, I just want to find them in my binos. And then typically if I can find an animal, I'm thinking back just like on some of the best bucks that I've killed, I've found them from a distance. So like I'm looking a long ways and I'm looking at a buck and I'm like, yeah, that buck's going to be something special. I'm going to just like leave him be. And then on subsequent scouting trips, if I've got him, I'm going to go back to my maps, e-scouting, and I'm going to find the glassing points that are within closer proximity to that animal. And I'm going to move in there. I'm going to pay attention to wind and kind of, the topography. I'm going to find that glassing point that's closer to where he's actually living. So then I can really start to pick apart his environment and find out where
So
I'm
your biggest buck, that buck with the split flyers, you found him from a distance?
Yeah, we found him. I had a buddy actually found him. That's another tip for scouting is if you got a tag in your pocket. He had an elk tag that year.
Yeah.
And I just put a bug in his ear and said, hey, keep your eye out if you got a buck. He saw a buck down the canyon and was like, I think this buck's going to be something special. You might want to look at. But yeah, we were looking, I don't know, 3/4 mile, half mile. I mean, we were looking a long ways down in this canyon. And yeah, and the rest of the summer I spent up on an overlook where I could look down into that canyon. And then as I got within August, I started to pick apart the landscape via maps and finding glassing points down in the canyon with that buck where I could actually get down in it and find him close and then hunt him. Because it's like two different things to just find a buck and then actually find out how you're going to kill a buck or a bull.
Two very different things.
And you have to check both off your list.
Yeah.
You can't just find them. You got to then find out how to find them closer and in proximity to actually make a stock and kill them. So it's kind of a two-part deal. But yeah, early August, July, I'm really just covering country and trying to find that animal.
What are you doing if you don't find a buck?
Crying.
It happens a lot. It happens to everyone. You put all this work e-scouting. It looks great. The train looks awesome. You get out there, super jacked. Do 2 days of scouting and you don't find what you're looking for. Then what? Do you ever cross that area off, or do you just assume that animal's just not there on that day? It was really hot out, or it was whatever, and there still could be potential. Yeah,
I don't cross it off. If I'm seeing other animals, I'll kind of keep it in the back pocket. If I'm hunting or scouting an area and I'm not seeing a lot of animals at all, I won't completely check it off, but I'm probably not, it's not my first to go back to. If I am seeing other deer, because I've definitely hunted bucks that I've not seen on scouting trips. I've hunted bucks where you might see them one time, you might not see them again for another month, even though I know full well they're there. And then I've killed them within 100 yards of where I saw them the first time. So I'm not crossing off my list, but I'm keeping track of like what other animals I am seeing. I'm keeping track of what the habitat looks like, what the water situation looks like. But like if I'm scouting an area and I'm like, man, that looks really good. It looks really elky, or it looks like it should hold a big buck. I just didn't see a buck that day. I'm not checking it off my list. I'm keeping it and I'm evaluating it based on what the habitat looks like, because I still think there's potential. There's a lot of time those bigger bucks don't ever let the sun hit them.
I know.
Like ever.
Ever. Like
It's
never.
crazy.
Like
they're scared of the sun.
When they get in their prime, like that big prime, and they haven't hit the kind of give up mentality where they're just so big and old they don't care anymore. Yeah, man, they are unbelievably strategic. About just not being seen ever.
I think to answer your question, if I don't find a buck that I'm after that I really want to hunt, I'm probably going back to the areas that I think looked the best.
Look the buckiest.
Yeah, they look the buckiest or the bulliest.
Bulliest.
They look more.
Maybe think of a new word for that one.
I don't know what the word is for that, but
Buckiest
they look elky. I feel like elky.
Yeah,
they look more elky. Yeah, so I'm using those.
What are your thoughts on summer scouting for a late fall hunt? Like, would you ever go to a state or even your home state, scout in the summer? The tags like in November. What do you think you're looking for then? Are you as concerned about finding deer at that time of year when you know they might be a little bit lower, or Or are you just going in there, just kind of learn the country, learn the glassing points, and just driving roads and just seeing the unit? Like, what would be your strategy there?
Yeah, I'm not looking for. I'm from Southern Utah. Fur. Instead of 4. I'm not looking for deer. Maybe there's some resident deer, or a resident bull that might be a little bit out of his element, and he might just hang out year round in some lower stuff. But I'm not necessarily looking for that animal. I think if it's a late season hunt, I'm mostly just looking roads, trails, glassing points. And again, I'm still looking for country that I think looks the best.
Yeah.
And then I think I probably in those types of hunts, I'm gonna put my scouting days not midsummer. I'm gonna put my scouting days 5 days before the opener of my hunt because I want.
What if you can't?
Just a new job, new family. I don't know what you need, but whatever you got to do, you got to get there a few days early to do some scouting, especially on a late season hunt. I feel like it pays dividends, but there's not as much you can do if your hunt is a late season hunt and you've got time to scout in the summer. Harder. It's definitely harder. So I would prefer to put my scouting dates right before the hunt starts.
Yep.
But you can still go out there and learn, and I'm going to. I mean, the tag I've got is a late archery hunt. It's a November rut hunt with a bow. So those deer, they're probably not going to be down there where they're going to be now.
Yeah.
But I'm still wanting to know roads, trails. I still want to see what the landscape looks like if I can.
Because you might be able to go out there and like, oh, that was a really great glassing spot. And you might be higher because you're curious and want to see some deer, but then you look way down below where that winter range stuff is. You're like, okay, there's some good spots to go to.
Yep.
And then drive, get down into the winter range area and check that out.
Yeah. If you can. Yeah. And again, I think those late season hunts, in my opinion, I think e-scouting can become even that much more important, if I'm honest, because I think it's easier to pick out.
Porter's late season Nevada bull was a great example of that. Porter did an amazing job of the pre-season scouting. So he went up during the rut. Obviously, that's when you're going to lay eyes on the most bulls making noise or with cows. So he got a really good look at the inventory of like, what does this year look like? What kind of bulls are here? What are my expectations, right? Like, what should they be? He did a really good job of taking inventory of bulls, and we had a great idea of like, okay, anything over this number, like that is worth this tag this year.
Yeah.
They had so much inventory of bulls, so we felt comfortable there. And then, all of October, we basically just did e-scouting constantly. It was all about finding that late, where are they going to pull back off to, these canyons, that canyons, terrain analysis tool, aspects, all that stuff. And we found the bull. I mean, he and Brandon found the bull the first day they went scouting, like the bull we wanted to kill. I mean, it worked incredibly well. It was inventory of what to expect, and then e-scouting on, okay, here's where we think these bulls are going to pull off to based on where they're rutting. Yeah. And what do you know? First day, we had them found up and we killed it.
I think maybe we skipped a step. No.
I want you are from Southern Utah, and you say fur. You don't say seen and saw differently though. Like Southern Utah,
that one was really.
I wanted to jump in and say that, but I don't want to. Yeah,
that one's never gonna work for me.
We were out there and we seen 2 bulls.
Yeah.
We seen 2 bucks.
I might say crick and fur, but
what is with the seen instead of saw?
I got no clue.
I was going to press you.
I'm drawing the line at seen.
You can't. Come on. You can't be saying that. We seen 2 bucks.
Yeah, I seen 2. Yeah, seen and saw. I do know the difference between those.
Yeah, okay, good. You are from Southern Utah.
Yeah, that's true. And born and raised.
That's such a weird Southern Utah.
Do you know what a seesaw is?
Yeah, of course, man. Teeter-totter. Let's go back. Maybe we missed this. I don't know if we missed it or not, but at what point does calling a biologist, calling a game warden, calling a taxidermist that lives in the area, hunt forums, Google, what point, like what does that play in your scouting regime?
Everyone knows my thoughts on some of this stuff, but I'll go through it a little bit right now. I have never once in my life called a biologist. Never once.
Why not?
I don't know. I just figured they don't want to be bugged because I don't want to be bugged.
I mean, there's something to be said. I've done it one time.
Like, I don't ever lean on that, but I know when I'm talking to you, it's a really good strategy. We've done some articles on it as well. But like, to me, I just think that information they're giving is the same they're giving everyone else. So sure, it could open the doors if you've never been there before. It's possibly a great starting point if you're just trying to find a animal. If you're not trying to find the biggest animal ever, you just want to go hunt and have fun, sure. Might be a great strategy, but to me, I'm just like, gosh, I don't know. I lean on friend networks a lot more. So for like this bull tag, I'm very secretive of where I've drawn tags. And even this office, there's a lot of people in here that don't know the exact unit, and I probably will never tell them.
Mm-hmm.
But like other people I know who, I talk to a lot more, like I've started to ask around, like trying to get some intel from friends who are willing to give it up, because it is one of those, more coveted tags. Like a coveted tag like this, if someone else drew it before and wanted to reach out and find out,
they're not going to draw it again.
Yeah,
I'm not going to draw it again. I would probably help them out a little bit easier because it's such a coveted tag.
Even if you wanted to blow up that unit, you couldn't. There's not enough tags.
Yeah, and so like I've been leaning on some friends, some outfitters, talking to taxidermists is a great tip as well. Like they talk to a lot of hunters. If you get friends with one, like they might be willing to share more information, as long as you're sharing some more information too. I think it can't be a one-way street when you're trying to do a lot of stuff, because if you're just always the guy who's asking for information but you're never giving it, what kind of person are you?
Yeah. I tell people to call a biologist. I tell them to call a game warden. It's interesting that you don't at all.
I never have. Yeah.
I would think you would, even just to the effect that whatever they told you, you just cross that off your list.
Yeah,
not
like
to
it's
go. That's what I
not
use.
to go there.
Forums and all that stuff. That's what I use that for, to not go there.
Yeah, I actually spend a lot of time. So if I draw a tag, like I have maps, first step, usually my second step, I would say, before I ever get a boot on the ground, is I do cruise. I just Google the unit name. It'll pull up a whole bunch of different forums, whether it's Hunt Talk or Rock Slide, Monster Muleys. Some of the best stuff's actually in Monster Muleys. A lot of it's dated.
Yeah, really dated
from
stuff.
There is some good
from the
stuff
late
in there.
90s and the early 2000s, but you have to read a lot of threads to go down through, and it's full of people saying, hey, welcome to the forum. You're the first post. You probably shouldn't post this. You should earn your keep or whatever.
Exactly.
But, which I hate that. But every once in a while you'll find a nugget, and sometimes it's just identifying an area. Like, hey, I hunted this 2 years ago. You might want to check this area. And I copy and paste all those. I put them in a document, and I do check them out. Like, maybe it's false, maybe it's not. Usually I'll compare it back to my maps and my e-scouting that I've done on my own and see if it makes sense to me. But I do that, and I make a pretty robust set of notes. One other thing I do is I run through, a lot of states have like biologist job completion reports. Wyoming does a great job at it. Nevada's got where to hunt sheets for each unit. And they give a little bit of information about kind of the migration, the time where deer are, where elk are, depending on the year. And it's pretty general for the most part.
But there's a lot of gold information. Like you said, the Nevada's like hunt status book. That's a really, really good one.
Nevada's hunt status book is good. I think Colorado's got some YouTube series where their biologists,
those ones are good.
Their game warden is sitting there and he's talking about the unit. And a lot of the times it's pretty basic. It's not stuff that you're going to hang the moon with, but there's nuggets, and it's like just one other little piece that I put in my pocket and just put it in the back of my mind or in my notes section to kind of add to everything else. But I do. Yeah. One thing I tell people to call biologists, I think you get out of a biologist what you put into it. So this is just like general advice, having been a biologist, having known a bunch of game warden buddies and biologists. If you call those guys outright and you're just like, hey, where should I go hunting? I have a tag. They're just going to give you some general areas. They're going to say, yeah, typically some elk and blah, blah, blah. The more prepared you can be going into that call, the more e-scouting you've done. You've picked out some ridges, some access, some roads, anything it is that you can give them to show that you've done it due diligence before you called them, the better they're going to be. It's kind of opened the door to the conversation.
Yep, totally agree.
Yeah. And if you got boots on the ground before you call them, even better, because you can start to really say, hey, I was out there on the unit last weekend. I was up on this road and this peak, glassed into this drainage. I was kind of thinking about hunting it. What do you think? And usually they'll say, yeah, it's a great option, or no, have you thought about, X, Y, or Z. Mm-hmm. I think it's a good tool. I'm like you. I think they give a lot of general information generally, and they talk to a ton of people. So they're typically giving the same type of information. A lot of biologists, I think they know their unit. They may not have hunted their unit, and they may not really even be a diehard hunter. A lot of them aren't.
They might know where they've seen pressure too. Like, this trailhead has 15 vehicles in it the first week of the season.
And that's a great question to ask. It's like I said, the more drilled down and specific you can be with your questions to a biologist, the better information you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, and to you saying that, like, not everyone is fortunate enough to have the hunting networks like we have, right? We've all grown up doing it. We're in the business. Like, our network is... It honestly is unfair to most people, right? But the one outlet that they have is the biologist and the wardens. I had a very good experience before a GOHUNT. I was one of the lucky assholes that drew a desert bighorn sheep tag in New Mexico. And I had never hunted outside of Nevada, Utah, Colorado. Like I had no network down there. I didn't know anyone. And I had an amazing experience with the biologist there. I mean, granted, it was a sheep tag. Some people could say that's why it was such a good experience. But
Yeah.
I mean, I had amazing conversations with the biologist. I actually ran into him 2 days. I was out there scouting before the hunt 2 days. Him and I ran into each other. And I said, hey, man, I've been the one calling you the last couple months. I was the one asking you all the questions. And man, I had an awesome experience, and he gave me the nugget that I took most, which is, hey, most people with this tag are going to go to this mountain range that has the most sheep.
Yep.
But there is sheep in this mountain range. Well, I went to the secondary one, right? I only had one friend helping me. You know, on a sheep hunt, that's not really the best outcome, is when you only have 2 sets of eyeballs, especially desert sheep. So I'm like, man, if that's where everyone's going to be, I don't want to deal with that and compete. They're going to have 15 people out there with each one of them, right? They're probably going to have guides with them, all this stuff. Like, I'm going to go to the secondary spot that he told me. And then I asked him one more question. I said, hey, I'm having a hard time finding these sheep on the south side of the mountain. He's like, okay, when there's lions on there, they're going to push to the north. That's where all the cliffs are. And we have a real bad lion problem in there, so that could be what's going on. Well, I went to the north side of the mountain, turned up the band of rams, and shot my ram out of it.
Right.
It's like it was the whole way through. He set that hunt up for me, and like it was awesome.
Yeah.
That's before I had a network, so that's what I had to do.
Can I do a shameless plug?
Yeah,
Sure.
I got some shameless plugs. So one of the things too that, like you're talking about dropping notes and stuff like that, and that's why like whenever you're talking to a friend or a biologist or a game warden or whatever, like this is where like utilizing Hunt Planner and having your little hunt and dropping the notes in there is key. Even on forums, I've dropped links
Hunt Planner in your insider account.
in the insider account.
Yeah.
So
Just to
I
be
will take
clear.
literally links from forums, links from other sources of the internet. I'll drop PDF links to like that Nevada Hunt Stats book or whatever I'm looking at, for that state, and drop it in there. That way it's all saved in one central location.
Yeah.
That way it's literally going to be my plan for this tag and dropping all that source of notes in there. If I have a Google Doc somewhere else, I'll link that Google Doc in there and try to make that my one source of all truth, knowledge, intel, everything. Then on the same topic too of like gaining intel of unit profiles on your insider account.
Yeah.
Once you start reading through a unit profile and getting the synopsis of what's in the unit, the terrain, some general access information, it's not hot spotting anything, but just looking through all that and looking through the data, looking through how many hunters are surveyed in that unit, and then dropping down and checking out the comments.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The comment section of it.
Comment section is where you can find a lot of gold, and a lot of guys aren't, not going to give out information for you on, even though it's insider and everyone's paying for it. You're not going to drop every little nugget, but they might say just something little small that like ticks you off, like, oh, I didn't think about that little area.
Or you can comment to them and say,
Comment,
hey,
yeah.
if you're willing to chit chat with me about your
Yeah.
hunt,
yeah.
can I reach out to you?
Yep,
Or what
seen
I've
that a lot.
seen quite a few times is, somebody was lucky enough to draw the tag. 2 years later, they're like, they're not going to have the tag again for a very long time, if ever. Man, I would love to go with you. I loved hunting that so much. Like, I'll meet you out there. I'll go with you. I've seen that happen quite a bit on Insider, which is really cool to
Yeah,
see.
it's really cool, like the level of friendliness that our insiders have and willing to give information, especially on those tags that are coveted. You're probably going to get that a lot more on coveted tags.
Of course.
If you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to Montana hunting general elk, give me your spot right now.
No one's going to jump on there and say, hey, come with me. I'll show you all the spots.
Yeah, like that's going to be a little bit harder, but like the coveted tags probably, but you can still probably gain some intel.
You ever slide into somebody's DMs?
Oh, yeah. Didn't he? Oh, yeah.
Not what you're thinking.
Oh, now what I'm thinking?
You're single. Don't think about it that way.
Okay, I was just thinking if any girls have slid in my DMs. I'm like, no, they really haven't.
But they should.
They should, though.
Ladies.
We're
No,
putting it out
but
there.
another good thing though too is like you're talking about scouring the internet and just using everything as a toolkit. Like there is some good stuff on, like Facebook. Like there's a lot of hunting groups on there. There's a lot of intel, and like sometimes you have to join to be a member of the group or whatever and do it. But if you just want to go on there and read, like there's a lot of stuff that just people give out sometimes that they probably shouldn't give out, and sometimes like, gosh dang it, like why are you talking about that? That was a spot I had hunted before, but like you can just read through it, just casually read through if you want to comment, but like just watch out what you're commenting and asking about. But
Yeah, I have before, and it's not necessarily even to people that I know that have had the same hunt or unit that I've hunted, but I know that they live in that state and they know the state. And typically I reach out to them and say, hey, do you know anything about this unit?
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, but I got a buddy.
Exactly.
And it's kind of, second or third party, and it kind of trickles down. But I've gotten some really good information from guys. And again, I would always tell people, I think this is the reason why I'm like, I feel like I'm pretty good about sharing information with people, and I feel like I get it in returns. Like maybe it's karma.
Yeah. When I was at the Sika seminar, there was a guy who was there as an insider. He's like, oh yeah, I talked to Trail quite a bit.
Oh really?
Like he even I can't remember what his name is. I feel horrible, but he commented that he's talked to you before.
That
about
is karma.
spots.
I try to do the same. I don't have nearly as much knowledge as you do throughout the West, but like I try to do the same, and it does feel like karma that it returns.
Yeah. I just I hope that it comes back, right? If I give some out, and again, I try to. Some stuff, general season deer unit, I try
That's
to
rough,
kind of hold my own little pockets as close as I can. I'm still not very good at it, but I feel like you give and you receive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like what Brady was saying, right? Just be a good person, right?
Be a
If
good
you're the
person.
one that's
Yeah,
always
don't be an
asking
asshole,
for
Brady.
spots.
That's why I never ask anyone, because I don't really give.
That's true. But if you're the one constantly asking and never giving anything up in return, the biggest, I can think of 4 or 5 different times where making friends on the mountain with somebody who has a different tag than you has led to something absolutely magical.
For sure.
Big Landon Floyd, Lando Floyd. I mean, that.
Shout out Landon Floyd.
Let's shout out Landon Floyd. He's such a nice guy, though, right? Like him and my uncle, they're such nice guys. They made friends with elk hunters. They found elk for them. They found a deer for Landon. It's like that's a lot of the times just being friendly with people and offering information. I mean, you don't have the tag, right? So like, why not? And it does seem to, in return, lead to a lot of very good things.
Yeah. You know who else I've called and I've had pretty good luck with is range cons that work for federal agencies like the BLM or the Forest Service. When I had the mountain goat tag, I talked to a forester, and I talked to him about the unit that I'd drawn, and he was like, 2 days ago I was in this drainage. And he's like, I saw 6 goats, and he said there was 3 I think were probably pretty good. I think he thought he was looking at billies at the time. It turned out I think they were nannies. But at the same time, like I got information from a guy that was just in there 2 days prior to when I went in. So, I mean, there's all those little things that maybe you don't even think about, Forest Service, BLM, they have biologists.
Absolutely.
They've got range cons. They've got natural resource specialists. My neighbor Steve Barker, just lives down the road. He's a BLM range specialist. That guy's out on the landscape way more than I am. I mean, he's out there all the time, and I remember he gave me a tip one time on a big buck. He's like, hey, I was out working on a habitat treatment. It was August, down low country, cedar sage. He's like, I jumped a really big buck. I went back and looked for that buck, and I didn't turn him up, but I had other bucks that I was hunting, but I kept that in my back pocket. Yeah. So there's all those little avenues.
I got 2 examples of that. So last year was one of them. I was helping Clay, had a guy in Colorado with a very good tag in Colorado. And I was out there scouting before Porter's hunt had started, and I was helping Clay in the meantime. And we made friends with, they were mining or doing some forest work on one side of the mountain. And he came down, we had been in passing for the last 2-3 days in a row, talked to him a couple times, just being friends. He's like, man, I just saw a really big buck he had these things coming out on both sides. So we're like, okay, so clearly he's not a hunter. So what does this mean, right? Like he has these things coming out on both sides. Well, we didn't turn him up that day that he said he had saw it. But Clay had a sub-guide taking a hunter into there when the next season started. They killed that buck. It was a 190-inch 4-point with cheaters on both sides. Yeah. It came from a guy, I can't remember what they were doing, if they were foresting, mining, I can't quite remember. That's the most recent example of like just talking to people. Anyone that crosses your path, you just, hey, and I think seen any deer?
I think you have to kind of vet it out when you
just don't know.
Yeah, you don't know exactly. Somebody might tell you, hey, I saw a big buck, and you kind of
what's big.
And I hate to say it, but you might have to kind of assess the person as you're looking at them. Well, what exactly are we working with
when
here?
This guy said he has these things coming off both sides, I'm like, okay, all right, he's clearly not a hunter. So is this like a 150 buck with just something going on, or what is this? Right?
Yeah, but if he's got things coming off the sides,
it's probably a big deer.
He's a buck worth looking at. He's got some age.
It was a couple inches on both sides, and they ended up killing the buck the next season.
Yeah.
Big old heavy 4-point with cheaters. It was awesome. And then another one in Nevada, the railroad guys in Nevada. When you hunt those desert units in Nevada, there was this is a while back, pre GOHUNT as well. talked to a railroad guy, and he clearly knew big deer. I mean, he was talking, G1, G2, G. I'm like, okay, this guy, he knows what's up. And it was a big ass deer. I never ended up killing it, obviously, but had big old inlines, and it was a big deer. And he's the one that told me right where it was. Got trail cam pictures of it, but I never ended up killing him.
Right.
What about you're hiking on a trail? It's summer, hiking up. You see some little granola hippie hiker come down. I think asking them still can be very valuable. Be like, hey, man.
You just got to play nice.
Yeah, well, no.
Usually if I hear them come in, I can hear the bells going because they got their bear bells. Yeah, then I whip out my Chacos out of my backpack.
Throw them on.
Throw those on.
Yeah,
get my trekking poles out.
Because you can casually roll up and be like, hey, I'm looking for taking photos of deer, but you're really not lying because you're digiscoping in the summer. So you are taking photos.
You're a liar.
I'm looking to take some photos of some animals. Have you seen any, deer up here? Oh, yeah, up there.
Yeah.
And then I want to give Christopher Neville a shout out because I'm assuming he's done this technique before. It sounds like it's right up his alley. I've kind of done this before, too. What about going to the local bar?
Oh, for sure.
Neville's definitely done that.
Local bar, just sitting down, talking the shit with some guys. Find the oldest guy in there and be like, hey, man.
I don't know if I should say this, but the moose hunt we went on, the guy that I went with, the area that we went to came from that guy sitting in a bar talking to a guy, and the guy was like, man, I used to guide, moose. And he's like, shit, I got an area. He's like, you'll both kill 60 inchers, guaranteed. And then he's like, guaranteed? He's like, absolutely guaranteed. And that came from just him sitting at a bar shooting the shit with an
you're
old
just
guy.
Buying him drinks to have him talk to you more? Yeah. Be friendly?
I got another story about this. I'm the story guy today instead of you, Trail.
I love it.
In college. So this is waterfowl hunting, so I'm going to say everything because nobody cares and everyone makes fun of me for being a crazy waterfowl hunter.
You hot spot them at good spots?
I'm not going to say the exact spot. But when I was in college in Montana, you travel around to all these small towns in Montana and you go hunt all these, backwater things and all this stuff. Well, we were in a town north of Missoula, and there's a pretty good flyway there, and there's a really good resident duck population there. And we'd been doing fairly good, but we pulled into a bar late at night. We were trying to get some food, me and my buddy Alex Busalaki at the time. And I had a little jet boat, and we had 2 dogs, and we're obviously covered in mud and smelled like duck water. And go into this bar, and there's a guy at the bar who had a lot to drink, and my buddy Alex is a lot like Chris Porter. He can just talk to anybody. He's one of the nicest guys on planet Earth. He starts joking with this guy. Anyways, we start talking.
Your buddy, not Chris, right?
Not Chris.
Okay,
my buddy Alex is like Chris.
Okay,
who they can literally talk to a wall and get the wall to laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just who they are. Alex more so. He's so funny. Anyways, we were in this bar in Montana, about an hour and a half north of Missoula. It was late at night, and this guy was drinking, and we started talking, and he's making fun of us being a duck hunter. He's like, oh, I used to be a duck hunter, and them damn things, they taste like shit, and we're, laughing with him, going out, checking on the dogs. Then he tells us to bring the dogs in, and we're having a good time. It's like, man, when I used to duck hunt, there's this spot right out here. It's like 30 minutes away from this bar. So we pull up Google Earth, and we start doing it and everything. He shows us it's where the river runs, and it creates this little backwater eddy. He's like, I'm telling you, certain times of the year, that could be the greatest place ever. And it's
the river runs through it?
Literally told us the exact same spot. Well, what did we do the next morning? We had a bunch of drinks with him, so we slept in. We went and checked that spot. It was chock full of ducks. It's been the 2 best duck hunts I had in college came from that guy in a bar, and the spot was 30 minutes from that bar. It was unbelievable. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Good old bar talk, man.
Didn't even need a boat to get there.
Bar.
Oh.
And then he was making fun of us for having a boat. He's like, you guys spend all this money. We kill more ducks in this spot. You'll never need a boat. You don't need any of this shit. You barely even need decoys. We're like, okay, whatever. Slept in, went and looked. Yeah. He was dead right.
Yeah. Goes to show you can't beat local. It's really tough to beat local intel, and it just takes the right situation and putting yourself out there,
I haven't done that being an adult, though. That was in college, so I'm got a free pass going to the bar and get wasted with a local.
Yeah. You ready to switch gears and talk about just tips and tactics, anything that you got for scouting, any kind of glassing techniques, any kind of equipment that you think you absolutely have to have for your scouting missions?
Yeah, I'm game.
You want to do that? What do you got? Any tips or tricks? Gear? What's your go-to?
Big glass.
Yeah.
Just, it's literally one of those things where big glass to me is so key to what I do. And it's mainly because of, again, we're getting back to like how I hunt and how I do things. Like I wanted long distance glass. Like you were saying in summer scouting, I love either pulling off on the side of the road, not throwing all my eggs in one basket, but like backpacking in somewhere really far. I can probably do a lot of scouting from a long distance away. Throw my BTX in the 115 and just scour.
I love
ranges.
15s.
15s, yeah, 15s off the tripod.
That's like the one thing I sold that I just need them back in my life so badly.
In the summer though, like I really love going light and fast. Carrying a smaller backpack. You don't need as many clothes. You definitely want to throw some rain gear in there.
What about trail cameras?
No,
not at all.
I think I maybe tried once out west to throw a trail camera. I know I did some in Montana, did a little bit in Utah before, but I don't like trail cameras.
I used to. Shout out Greg Crow, one of the best Western mule deer hunters on planet Earth. I ran into him in Nevada, and he's telling me, he's like, man, I don't use them because you get locked into one thing, and that's might be where that deer goes, but that's not what he does, right? So you get all these preconceived things. It's like, I've never killed a deer on trail camera. I've only killed a deer when I can watch him go bed and watch him get out of his bed and go to wherever he's going. It's the only way he's ever killed a deer. Since that day, I stopped running trail cameras.
I think they're really good to help you find an animal. Like you can put it on a water hole, or back when you could throw out a salt block or something like that. It's really good for finding an animal. And then it's like you're saying, trail camera doesn't kill them. It just gives you the okay, I need to really focus my time and attention in this area and figure it out. I've had really good luck with trail cameras, but it's gotten harder. I mean, a lot of the laws, you've got to have them pulled on August 1st.
You have to pull them, so you have to schedule another vacation day just to go pull.
Well,
I could be glassing.
Yeah, in a state like Utah, I mean, in essence, you've got July, the point where your buck or your bull is really put on enough growth to start to see what you're working with, till August 1st. So you basically got a month. Yeah. To throw out, I don't know how many trail cameras you got, and check them. And again, I don't think you're not killing an animal directly from a trail camera, but it can certainly help. In my opinion, it can help you find one.
Yeah. Well, this is it. That the story about the railroad guy. That's how I found that buck, was on trail cam, the one he was talking about, and I could never kill it. Yeah. And I ran into Greg Crow, and he's like, "Yeah, you're not going to kill these bucks on a trail cam."
Chasing a ghost.
And it completely changed my mind, my entire mindset about finding and killing are two wildly different things. Yeah, I got a picture of it. It's cool. I know he's here, but I have no clue what he does.
Yeah, I think if you got some, throw them out. I mean, I think it's you might as well. You might come up with something that you in an area that you didn't even think about. You can maybe check it off your list. I like throwing them up on a water hole just to see. But I'm with you. I think if I had a day to go scouting and I had the choice between, hitting glassing point, morning and evening, or I just ran around putting out trail cameras all day, I'd choose the glass because I think you could just cover so much more ground.
I think if you could throw them out there and keep them out there through the whole season, maybe I might be more inclined to, because then I'm collecting that more data closer to my hunt. But I just rather glass. I enjoy glassing. I enjoy that style of trying to find the deer, looking at all the country, seeing animals is fun.
A good point there too. Like Heat Jr., I just showed you guys that trail cam picture. It's in Utah. He's going to have to pull it August 1st, but it is literally 40 minutes from his front door. Yep. So why not?
That's where I'm at. I think it makes
really good. If you live there, it probably makes a little more sense.
Really good since close to home.
Why not? Yeah.
Have you ever put cameras out like deep in the mountains? Have you ever carried one?
Oh yeah. Like
super far?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's the mentality there? Like,
I've never lost a trail camera from somebody stealing it. I'll just say that. I mean, just to see. Yeah. I mean,
it is cool seeing animal pictures.
Well, it's like I'm saying, some of the areas, some of my favorite areas that I've had trail cameras, I mean, I'm a day in and not a day, but I'm a half day at least, in and out. I'm probably 3 hours one way.
You tough enough to be like that guy who's like, I'm going to go check all my cameras at night, glass during the day.
I've done that.
Not sleep.
Yeah, I've done that in my younger days.
You're still young. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when I would get off work at, 5 or 6. I would run home, get all my gear together on a Friday night, and I would leave my house at, put my kids to bed and leave at 10 o'clock and then hike all night to be at a glassing point and glass in the morning.
The glassing point thing, for
sure.
I'll
still do that, but it's been a while since I've went that hard in the paint.
I don't know if I could go that hard in the paint
I did
anymore.
it, though, for a long time. I would leave.
But that's the biggest thing, though. Like I always try to tell people, like hunting season is so short.
Yep.
When it comes down to it, like your season's there, but all your work can be done now, e-scouting and boots on the ground scouting. So if you do have a weekend, maximize every single second. Literally, like you were saying earlier, run around, do all this stuff. to put yourself in the best foot forward, to tag out later, collect all that data.
Yeah.
Another thing I think of too all the time, like we do all have lives. Like, I don't have kids, but you guys have kids in the family.
Man, do I.
Do you? Yeah. You're telling me your weekend
3.
plans this last weekend. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you did a million things. But like, I think about sometimes though, how much times in our life do we sit around that house and just like watch shows on Netflix?
Way too much.
Way too much. How many times do you think you spend doing something productive for hunting during that week?
Not
Sometimes
enough.
maybe not enough. But if you started adding up, like, all right, I watched this Netflix show for 2 hours one night. Next time I'm gonna do the same thing. Now you're hooked on the show. It's a big series. Wouldn't your time been a little bit better spent? I know you need some entertainment in your life. I'm not saying just be a drone like sometimes I am, but like literally, shout out Star Wars.
Well, you don't like people, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride
But
my,
like,
my automaton.
do a little bit more e-scouting. Do a little bit something more every single day to get closer to being more successful. If it's shooting your bow, like most people probably shoot their bow and shoot their rifle way more than they actually e-scout even.
Oh, I shoot my bow 10x more than I e-scout.
Yeah, but like the little things though, like a weapon is very, very important, and I harp on that all the time. I know you talk about shooting your bow all the time, but like that e-scouting thing, like you can do it anywhere. I can do it in my Uber drive from the airport back home. Like I can literally be on my phone looking at something, like using that time purposely rather than being on like social media or doing something that doesn't do anything with my life, which is hunting.
Yeah.
And
It's like using that time wisely.
And
even in the
e-scouting's
airport.
gotten so good.
Yeah.
Like it actually is. It is super beneficial now. Where for me, like with a kid now, can't imagine with 3. That's like stresses me out beyond having three
it's a
three
whole
boys.
thing.
But like, I don't have that time like I used to when I was out hanging trail cameras and doing all this stuff. And now e-scouting has gotten so good. That's where I try to put most of my time.
Yeah,
like lunch at work. I mean, granted, we are in the, it's a little easier for me. I'm not going to say it's as easy for everybody, but like just at work.
And you
hour
get better
here,
at
hour
it.
there. You get better at it. You find some spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always times during the day you could probably doing something to benefit your e-scouting
Yep.
or whatever hunt thing it is, working on your gear list, trying to figure out what optics you're
gear
going to bring.
list. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think scouting. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with everything that you're saying. I think it's. I think what you're saying is just a reminder, like prioritize your time and just keep something. When we had John on the podcast, just like the word I took out of that when I went home was like the guy's very intentional. Like he's very intentional about everything that he did, and probably not everything, but it comes off that way.
Yeah.
With a lot of things that are important to his life, and like I think you can look at e-scouting, scouting, hunting in general, just being more intentional with your time.
yeah. Like I've always used the thing like be a student of the game, and John does that same thing.
Yeah.
John even has a T-shirt, like something along the lines of student of the game. Like literally do everything you can to benefit your life.
Should we knock that off? Be a student of the match? I don't know. We can come.
We
up
should
with
knock
something.
it
We
off.
could knock
for
it.
sure.
But yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Any other pieces of equipment? Boots, tripods. We're gonna have Cody Nelson on here pretty soon. We're gonna do
Yeah.
another episode with Cody, and we're gonna dive deep into probably what I think is the most critical piece of equipment that you can
tripod
have
is.
for scouting is a tripod.
Yeah, if you don't
If you don't have a tripod, you should buy one right now.
use that 50 points you get when you use promo
Yeah.
code podcast.
Yeah. So
Shout out.
good tripod setup, tripod head. I think that's in my lifetime of hunting, maybe beyond. Yeah, I don't know if it's beyond maps, but it's right up there with it because I think maps is probably one of the biggest
Yeah,
tools
yeah.
in terms of
E-scouting
scouting and
maps,
hunting,
yeah.
e-scouting and maps. I would say one of the best gains for me has been a pair of good optics mounted on a tripod.
Yep.
Just absolutely changed my whole world. So that's one for me. Glassing pad's another one. We got to go hunt glassing pad. I just saw it in the shop. You
Yeah,
had one on your
Thing's
desk, didn't
badass.
you?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, folds out, little Z foam glassing pad. You got to have that.
It's all about being comfortable.
Being
Like,
comfortable.
you're going to spend so much time behind the glass. You're not going to have the adrenaline break of like actually going after something. So be comfortable. Set up behind glass and get comfortable.
There's also those little tools like your little binocular, covers, the Bino Bandits, go over your eyes. I don't use those all the time, but
Get rid of that sun in
when
the
I
summer.
think about them, they're sure handy.
Yep.
They sure make a difference. So that's like just a little piece of equipment.
Even footwear.
Footwear is a great
on these
time.
summer scouting ones. Like I want to go light and fast.
Yep.
Like this is where I'll get like, Porter likes to make fun of my leather boots because I'm a technical
does.
guy and I use non-technical boots according to him. But like in the summer, I'll throw
It's
some.
not technical colors.
No, not technical colors.
Technicolor.
Throw in some trail runners or whatever. Like just bomb
Yeah.
up the mountain as fast as you can. Like get up there, get glassing, get hunting. Or not hunting, I guess, or scouting, but like
Yeah.
get after it. Just little things like that. Lightweight clothes, lightweight gear, smaller backpack. I always use on these trips.
Sometimes we do a podcast and I'm like, I just want to jump in my truck and drive somewhere and do something. And this is like one of those. I'm like having this like overwhelming feeling. I just want to be out in the woods, man.
Why are we here right now?
I just want to go out and go scouting.
Well, it's we're right there on the cusp too. Like we're right there of actually that July 4th bomb hitting, and it gets so real.
Yeah. Can I jump back to like some web scouting things for just a second? We touched on like polygons. Yeah. You mentioned polygons. What are you guys like using polygons for when you're like doing e-scouting?
Zones.
Just zoning?
Yeah, just to know I'm in that zone.
Just like highlighting something that caught your eye. Like I want to circle that timber patch or whatever, or that zone of the mountain.
And it's like, right, there's, for me, transition zone and hunting zone. So it's like I'm gonna get to that zone through this little transition, and then I know when I get there, I'm in that zone, like my little blue dot. I'm like, okay, I'm in it now. Like this is what I saw, looked really good. I'll obviously hunt my way there. Yeah. But it's just kind of like that step 1, step 2, step 3.
Instead of dropping a waypoint, sometimes you can just do a polygon.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this was the area.
Yeah,
it's more of an area preview than an actual waypoint. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've tried to get more intentional about scouting because I know my personality and I forget a ton of shit literally the first second I hear it. So I just try to be more intentional about that. What I found, what I saw, what I like.
Yeah. I want to jump a different way again. I saw something when you were saying that. Do you carry a rangefinder when you're doing boots on the ground scouting?
I don't.
I was just
because I get in so close. Just kidding. I don't know. What? I don't carry a rangefinder.
But like,
I assume you're measuring like
measuring distances and make possible shot locations. I'm a rifle guy, so sometimes it's like, even though you probably never gonna have an animal in front of you when you're doing that, but like it's beneficial. But the other benefit I get a lot is marking an animal a lot more accurately. That exact timber patch that animal is. Like you can use the rangefinder tool on GOHUNT maps when you're out there. Like, all right, that buck is 1,400 yards away. I'm glassing from a long distance. I want to mark exactly where he's at. Yeah, you can hold your phone out, kind of like match it, but use a rangefinder tool. With a rangefinder, even when you're scouting, boots in the ground, you can pinpoint exactly where those animals at, and then start to, like I said, like that data collection thing. I'm marking the exact spot. So I always carry a rangefinder.
Yeah,
I don't know
I carry one. I just don't use it.
Don't use it.
Yeah, it'd be probably.
Is it always just on your bino harness? And
yeah,
you
it's
don't
always
take
on my bino harness. I'm sure it'd be beneficial. I don't. I have gone back home. Like going back to finding glassing points to where the animal actually is and using the measuring tool to just kind of measure it out and see what kind of distance I'm looking at. The other thing I talked about with elk last week was, the size of a timber patch for bedding. You can measure timber patches to see if it kind of meets. And typically they say it's got to be that at least like 30 to 60 acres in size.
You really were giving out all the good information.
Yeah, I went into it. But yeah, you can use measuring tools to just kind of measure cover and to see, does it kind of meet optimal conditions for what they're looking for. So
yeah, that's a really good tip.
You can use that. I mean, there's so many tools. That's the thing.
Yeah,
there's so many damn tools, and you gotta kind of use all of them. Mm-hmm. And the better, I would say, the better you can use all of them, the better your plan's going to be.
Well, the better you can use them tailored to your strengths. Yeah, that's when it really becomes something.
Yep.
Got to keep your toolkit sharp. With using all these tools.
Just keep it honed. Razor's edge.
Iron sharpens iron.
What else you got?
One more rage. Iron sharpens iron.
If Omar's here, he'd be stay hard.
Food is fun, not fuel.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my favorite. Favorite Bradyism.
Anything else you guys wanted to cover? I know we're excited. I'm super stoked about historical imagery. We all are. Everybody's pretty excited about it in conjunction with the rest of the tools that we've got. I'm excited to get out and get scouting.
I want to go put boots on the ground so bad right now. Yeah. I got a lot of tags in my pocket, and I just want to see some animals.
Yeah. Well, weekend's coming.
It is.
I only got 2 hunts, man. I got to make the most of them.
Yep.
So I'm like neck deep in e-scouting, historical imagery. Awesome. Finally.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not going to be lucky enough to get boots on the ground. So I got to wait till the day.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we'll wrap her up. Use the promo code podcast.
Promo code podcast. Get
yourself some new gear in the gear shop. Get maps. Like I said, brand new tool for us. We're pumped about it. I would say if you're looking at using the promo code, just sign up for an insider account.
Yeah.
You're going to get everything. You're going to get draw odds, filtering, and all that. Yeah. So use it. But yeah, cool. Appreciate you guys
That's what we say. You don't need any of the shit unless you have a tag.
Yeah.
So like,
Get a
focus on the task at hand of getting that thing in your
Getting
pocket.
that tag, yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Catch you on the flip side. The flippity flip.
Flip mode.